we're live before we do anything.
That is a very good idea. If we talk for like 2 hours, next minute, not recording.
Yep. Like, say something so I can make sure.
Hi, how's it going?
Okay, I think we're good. We're good.
We're good to go.
Okay.
Exciting.
So you're ready, man? Are you
I'm
ready?
ready. I'm so ready.
Okay. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Councilmen podcast. This is episode number 30, and I am your host for today, Albert Viradharma, and I am joined by the one and only Jason Viradharma. How are you doing today, Jason?
I'm good, thanks. How are you going?
I just woke up right now. It is 7:23 a.m. in the morning, and I got my everyday kick, so I got some energy going on for this podcast. But aside from that, it's pretty good. It's Labor Day weekend here in the US, so yeah,
Nice.
I have a weekend on a Monday.
That's good. Well, here it's like 9 p.m., so it's like,
Uh-huh.
nowhere near my bedtime, but, it's a good way to calm down after uni, just let the thoughts out, you know what I'm saying?
That's fair. That's fair. So yeah, today it will be just the two of us. Unfortunately, again, Tagu and Kelvin and Arik, they're unavailable right now. And just to address the audience for the upcoming several weeks, Tagu and Kelvin is most likely gonna be out because Kelvin, he said while he's still in Indonesia, it's gonna be hard for him to find recording time, and Tagu right now is still in Japan and is moving into a new apartment, so he's still pretty busy as well. On the other hand, Arik just started university on his semester as well, so he's still adjusting to his schedule. But once everyone's back on track, I'll try to make sure everyone's back in the show because I don't want to be doing the show on my own, definitely. So that's the case.
You did a good job last week, though. So come on, don't sell
it was-
yourself short. That was beast.
Yeah, it was fun and all, but talking for 50 minutes straight was not the best
Yeah,
idea.
that would get tiring.
It's tiring. It's tiring, especially it's not as good to have a banter on your own too.
It's kind of difficult, yeah. But you
Mhm.
did your best.
Thank you. So anyway, on today's show, we'll be talking about some previews for the Joker trailer that got revealed recently, and also the news that it was played on the festival recently as well. And then next week, we're gonna be seeing It Chapter 2. So we'll be sort of previewing about that. And the main meat of the show, Jason have given me a bunch of questions about movie going experience, and we'll be talking about that eventually down in the show. So let's just get to it, Jason. Let's just get to it.
Let's do it.
Have you seen the Joker trailer?
I have seen the Joker trailer. It looks good. It looks like something that I want to go and watch. Something, that after watching Suicide Squad and Jared Leto, they can actually save the Joker.
Yeah, not the biggest fan of Jared Leto's portrayal of Joker in Suicide Squad, but this one, it looks so... How do I say it?
Dark, but
Yeah,
it shows it's like raw, if you know what I mean. Like, something that you can actually believe happened in real life.
I think it has something to do with the time setting. I believe they said it. I want to say
like the 80s.
I think it's I want to say 60s. Yeah, because like around those times are like the mob times era in the US
like
too.
the
I believe,
gangsters.
Yeah, exactly. So it sort of feels, which is like what you said, raw. It feels very vulnerable, I guess.
Yeah, it's not like those classic like superhero movies where like it's hard to believe. Like this guy, you see this whole story from like how, not to spoil the trailer, but you should have seen it already. But it shows
spoil the trailer.
Yeah, it's not like the Joker straight away. Like you actually see how he becomes the Joker, like what led him up to that path. And I guess in that aspect, like you become closer to the Joker. I guess you see a side of him that you don't really get to see that often.
Yeah, and I guess it's because this is the first time we've sort of seen an origin story for the Joker character. Because we don't get that in the Suicide Squad incarnation, we don't get that in the Heath Ledger's incarnation. the closest thing to a backstory is sort of the Batman '89 with Jack Nicholson, and it was not really a backstory of his character per se, but it's a backstory of how Jack Napier becomes the Joker, but he's already sort of evil before
Lost.
when
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
already evil when he's Jack Napier. But this one we're following a tale of a guy who is I'm gonna say he's just trying to live and trying to survive in this world, but the world just shits on him and then finally
Exactly.
breaks and finally loses it.
I think I read this quote that I was looking up before going on the podcast. It's like one of the best quotes in the joke. It's like, we're all one day from like going mad, and he's just met that day, I guess,
Hmm.
which is pretty interesting in my opinion. Like, it doesn't take much to like tip a guy over, especially like.
Yeah, this is going to be very much of a psychological tale of this guy who is once again I believe he's a stand-up comedian in the film. His name I think is Arthur Fleck, the character that he's playing,
Mm-hmm.
which in Joker lore they've never really told, as far as I believe, they've never really told what Joker's real name is because it's like the biggest mystery about Joker
Yeah,
character.
the Joker
But this guy is supposed to be a stand-up comedian, and
doesn't go well.
people doesn't think it's funny. People just beats him up, and then he eventually just loses it.
Loses it exactly. And talking about the actor, like Joaquin Phoenix, if that's how you say his name,
Yeah,
he's got he plays that similar role in The Gladiator, I think.
he
He's got
is.
that he's got that face about him, like he's like manipulative, like a bit of like a
Mhm.
Machiavel, and
Yeah,
he brings that into the Joker, I think.
he's a very good
Evil character.
not only that, I think he usually goes method for most of his roles, so he
Does
never
he?
breaks character on set,
Oh wow.
and it's you can sort of see that he sort of really embodies the character, which is
Bit like
freaky.
Heath Ledger, except not that
Very,
much.
very, yeah, very much. But did you see how skinny he is in this role, which is
I
freaky?
know. That's so weird. But yeah.
And okay, well, what do you most likely? Like I said, Joker haven't really have a backstory except for the one time, which is at least for me the one time that I've read is Joker: The Killing Joke, which is sort of tells his backstory sort of a bit. He was a failed stand-up comedian, and then he got beat up. He got pulled into like one of this uh job gone wrong, and then eventually he got an accident which gives him the white skin, and that's how he sort of become the Joker. But this one they're sort of taking that, erasing it, creating a whole new storyline with a brand new character name called Arthur Fleck, and then even introducing the Robert De Niro character, which is like the talk show host if you see in the trailer,
Mm-hmm.
and giving him a love interest that we've never seen before. So what do you think of them taking just the name of the character and just the idea of the character, but creating a whole new story on its own? Do you like that idea, or do you think it's not the best idea to do that?
I think it's a good idea because it gives the writers the freedom that they have, and if they have more freedom, that means they can write what they feel like and not feel trapped by the comics. Even though I'm sure the comics did like a great job of portraying the Joker, I feel as though if the writers get that freedom to write the story that they feel like, name him his own name, Arthur Fleck, as you were saying, I think it gives it would add to the story. I think because yeah, it's like their own storyline. They have their own ideas that they can put in, and I think it'd be good for the movie. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I
As
know a
long
lot of
as
people would be torn though. Like a lot of like the comic guys would be like, "Oh, why didn't you just follow the same path?" But this is just coming from me. I don't really read the comics that often, to be a lot, if at
Mhm.
all. But that's just from like a normal dude. Yeah,
But yeah, as long as the execution, I guess, if it's
yeah,
good, then it's fine. If
exactly.
you're taking, because once again, it's not it's not a you're not transferring something from the comic to the screen. It's called an adaptation for a reason.
Mm, exactly.
And like I don't even most comic book films, I've never seen that it's like anything that's frame by frame. I'm trying to think what the closest it is that I've ever seen, and
This
maybe
is
the
gonna be like,
closest thing is maybe Into the Spider Verse, but that's not even adapting a story. They're just adopting the style of it. which is so yeah. I've once again this trailer looks exciting. When does it come out? I think it's November, right? Or is it October? I should have checked this.
I can't remember. I'm checking this.
Yeah, Joker release date. But yeah, did you heard about the news on the festival where Joaquin Phoenix where
October.
the film when the film how the film got reviewed? Did you heard about that?
I didn't hear how it got reviewed. I'm assuming it's very positive because I did hear in the news today that he got an 8-minute standing ovation, and I'm just thinking, wow, like that must be very positive then.
Yeah,
8 minutes.
that is the I
What is
believe
the festival?
what festival that was. I forget. Critics reaction
You've
are
done your
ruined.
homework out. Come on.
I know. I'm sorry, but yeah, the reviews are up. I don't think is it on. Do they have it on Rotten Tomatoes?
Venice
But
Film Festival.
it might be
Venice.
Venice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And
Yeah.
Joker is going to be 2 hours and 2 minutes long, a crime psychological thriller. It's rated 9.7 on IMDb, which I never
How
trust
good is
IMDb.
that?
I never
Yeah.
trust IMDb anymore
Really?
because
Oh,
people can just put their scores before even watching the film.
yeah. That's
It's
just
not
it
really
makes.
official.
How about Rotten Tomatoes? Is that
It's
official?
88% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is
I mean, that's
great.
pretty good. That's pretty
That's
good.
pretty good. And yeah, it's released on October 4th. So that's
So
sort
not
of
really 2 months.
yeah,
Oh,
2 months
2 months.
from now.
Actually, no.
Right
October 4 in
before
Australia, so it's more like closer to a month for us.
Yeah, right before Halloween, sort of.
Okay.
They're going for that
They timed it like
horror.
that.
Which, sorry?
They timed it on that
Yeah,
purpose.
I'm guessing so. I'm guessing so. And yeah, so in 2 months we'll be seeing the Joker film, and it's about a clown that's on the loose.
I'm game.
And in a few days, which is 1 month from the Joker, we'll be
This
seeing another
transition
we'll be
is
seeing another
so good.
clown on the loose. But this time, the clown is not only just on a mad killing spree, but the clown has been hunting this certain town called Derry in Maine for the past 27 years and several hundred years before. You know what movie I'm talking about, Jason?
It number 2, baby.
Oh no, I was talking about that other clown film, no,
Oh,
not that.
right,
No,
right.
of course I'm talking about It Chapter 2. It's coming up next week. I'm excited for this. What
Oh,
are
so good.
your let's just talk about your excitement level for this one.
I'm really
Are you
happy
excited?
that about the cast. Firstly, like everyone stayed. Like all of them stayed, and the people that are like the grown-up versions as well. They're amazing actors as well. Like, oh, what's his name? I should know this guy. Professor X, the new guy. I love him. He's such a good actor. What's his? Do you know his name? You know
I'm
the guy.
blanking.
He
I'm
does
blanking right
like,
now. Yeah. James McAvoy.
yeah, he's so good. I'm keen to see how he portrays it, but I'm just overall excited. I'm not a biggest fan of horror, to be honest. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I watched it one, and I was like, please, it has to be in it too, and like, we've been blessed.
Yeah, and also it's when did the first come out? It came out 2 years ago, right? 2017, not
Yeah.
2018. It was 2017. Yeah, and it was, believe it or not, that it was the first horror film I've seen in theaters. Because I'm not a big horror guy too, like you, and
Yeah.
I've only been very recently immersed in horror. And having said that, I've only since I'm very recent, so I've only seen the new releases
Fair
on
enough.
theaters. So which is why it is the first one, and I adore that film because it's not only a horror film; it's a coming of age story when we follow the young kids and how they grew up, and it's just a coming of age in the horror setting. So the fact that this time it's going to be 27 years later, and we got the adult cast, like you said, Jessica Chastain is going to playing adult Beverly. Bill Hader is going to be playing adult. I
Oh yeah,
believe his name
he's
is
a funny guy as well usually, right? Bill Hader. So
Yeah, I believe his
seeing him
name
in
is
like a horror movie, it's going
Ricky.
to be interesting.
Uh, yeah, and if you haven't heard, apparently most of the reviews say that uh, Bill Hader is like the standout out of the ensemble cast.
Oh, I'm not surprised. His smile when he does like that iconic like it smile.
Mm-hmm.
just sends like chills down your spine. It's just like, how did he even figure out he could make that face? Far
Wait,
out.
who? Pennywise's smile?
Yeah, Pennywise's smile. It's just like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's really freaky. Bill Skarsgård really portrayed Pennywise really well from the first film. He's coming back for this one, and
Can you do the face?
uh, no, I cannot do the face. And look who joined us in the live chat. It is Calvin Johannes, and he
Oh,
mentioned
the man
original
himself.
original part two. It was oh, I'm guessing he's talking about the '80s version because Calvin did told me that he watched the 1980s TV movie of the
Oh,
original
does
one.
he?
Did you know about that one?
I mean, I've seen like old It movie, and
Yeah,
like
it's a TV movie,
didn't know
and
that.
it stars Tim Curry from you might know him from Clue, the movie Clue, and he plays Pennywise in that film. And apparently, it's much campier. I mean, I guess it's very campy because it's the '80s, and they really dive into the book because if I've never read the book,
Stephen
but
King not having either. No,
it's I don't know how many thousand pages there are. It's a lot, but
is it?
apparently it is. It is one of the thickest book, I believe, and they really split it into two parts of the part one and part two, the adult version and the kids version. And this is why I sort of worry for this film as well, because I believe in the book, in the novel, and in the original film. Um, the mythos for where it came from. You don't mind spoilers a bit of the book, right?
No, not at all. Go ahead.
So Pennywise is supposed to be like
An
this
alien?
mythical
Is he
alien
like an
creature.
alien?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
he's
an
not actually
alien
a clown.
creature.
Yeah.
He's like a giant spider or something like that, which is
Oh,
very
what?
weird. And then there is like this giant floating a cosmic turtle, which is like his mortal enemy. And it's so bizarre. And I don't know if they're gonna do that in the actual film because it
Oh
sort of
god.
takes out from the reality of it. Because they didn't even hint that he is an alien in the first film. I don't know if they're gonna do that in the second film, which can sort of worry me a bit if they go on that road.
When you mean alien, do you think is he like? Are you trying to describe someone that's like taking over the human race, or
I don't know. I
because
think
he
he just
looks like you can? He's
not
not
not really
normal, right? He's
not
not
really
the. He's
taking
not a person.
over. Yeah, because I don't think it's really take over human race. Because if he is, he wouldn't be sticking in Derry. I think he's just stranded in Derry, and he's
Mm.
just there to hunt people and feed on people, and that's how he survive. I think.
Yeah, I don't think I really need a backstory for how Pennywise got there. To be honest, like
Yeah, yeah.
I just want to see like how he affects the town. Like he's come back for revenge. Like he's come back stronger with like one goal in mind to terrorize the kids that terrorize him. Like that's what I want to
Mhm.
see. I don't want to like if you add the backstory, maybe like make a part 3. Like I don't know if you feel like it,
Oh,
but
I don't think they should do that.
yeah, don't do a part 3. But you don't need to include the backstory. That's not important for this one.
Yeah, but it's basically Pennywise will return 27 years later to torment the grown-up members of their losers club, which have been living
Oh,
their life for how many ever years. And yeah, they've all gone their separate paths, and only Mike, the African American member of the group, is the only one to stay and in Derry, which is why he's probably the most effed up because he's been stuck in that small town while everyone else is spread out. So we'll see how the reunion, how that's gonna go between those all those the cast is incredible. I'm excited to see the cast, but I'm sort of worried if they can portray the younger versions or if the chemistry will be as good because the young kids cast chemistry is incredible.
they were so good. Like they just it sounds like they're best friend. It looks like they've been best friends for since high school. But obviously they're actors, but they do such a great job.
Yeah. And okay, are you worried at all that the runtime of this film is nearly 3 hours at 2 hours and 50 minutes for
I
a horror
really
for a
hope
horror
it
film?
doesn't
It's a lot.
drag on. I really
Mhm.
hope it doesn't drag on because I did watch a movie recently that felt like it dragged on. Once
Yeah.
Upon a Time in Hollywood. Oh my god. Have you seen it?
I saw it 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Okay, I don't want to take away from it, but just in my head, it was a
It
story about nothing and it literally dragged on for so
yeah,
long.
it kind of
And
the pacing was kind of off. It kind of
yeah,
dragged.
but I don't. Yeah, hopefully it's a very long time though. I don't know how what they're gonna fill it with. I
Yeah,
mean, the
not.
trailer didn't reveal much, to be honest.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know how. What do you think? Do you reckon it's gonna drag on? Hopefully not.
I I hope not because they can sort of fill once again, 2 hours and 50 minutes is a really long time for a
2 hours
horror
is like
film.
average, isn't it? Like usually,
Well, nowadays 2 hours is
it's
the
getting longer.
average,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for horror movies, almost 3 hours. That's a long time.
I mean,
I mean, you can probably fill in. You can probably fill in
they can
like some
probably
stuff with like transition of like the backstory
grown
with
ups,
when they
like the
still
adults.
child. Yeah,
Yeah,
they can
I
go
don't know.
back and forth between that. They could put lots of scares. But yeah, once again, if people are not comfortable with horror, if you have to stick in
Oh,
it, sit in theater for 3 hours, you will
you
lose your
better get.
mind.
You probably be scared of horror, and by the end of it, you'd be like, horror is nothing. It's just like
You'll be like, I was immune to it.
if you do it by the end of it, you're like, okay, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm all good. But no, it is quite a long movie. But yeah, I'm hoping it's gonna be good. Yeah, it's got
I
a good
heard.
cast.
Sorry, what?
It has a good cast, so that's
Mhm.
if there's good actors,
The
it's
same
hard to mess
director is
up.
sticking back. The
Emma
same
Stone's
director is
messed up,
sticking back.
but don't worry about that one. Anyway.
But yeah, what's it called? I heard the scares are it's some of them are more terrifying.
Oh, not like jump scares
I
or
don't
like the
know.
face.
I don't know, but I heard that if you're scared on the first one, you will not enjoy this one because
Oh,
it it will really bother you.
ooh. I mean, I've seen the trailer, and there's that face that he makes. He's like, Pennywise is laughing, and I think there's tears running down his eyes. I think in a creepy
Oh
looking
yeah, yeah,
face.
yeah. That very last shot, right? Is it? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah. He's
yeah? It's
crying, but he's laughing at the same time. Oh,
it's it's
I
it's
think
really freaky.
I think I can deal with that kind of horror. The horror that I'm scared of is, I don't know. My imagination runs wild, so when I see something dark in the corner, or just everything is dark, my
Oh
imagination just thinks of all these things,
no,
and
that
the music as well.
oh yeah, it's chapter two. You'll float too. You'll
Uh,
float too. And you know that scene. That there is a very extended scene on the first trailer, which
oh,
Beverly's
that
talking to the grandma.
your trailer reaction to that, I was watching it
That's
for the first time as well.
yeah,
Oh,
that was freaky. Because especially if you notice in the background, the grandma is like freaking around in the back, and
it's like
it's
so
the grandma's
weird.
just like peeking in.
Oh, it's so
So
creepy. It's like you can stay for dinner or pee, and then she's like, I gotta go. You can kind of just tell.
yeah, and Calvin Johannes in the chat once again, he's saying that he's hoping that it chapter two don't rely on jump scare too much. Yeah,
Mm,
I hope not. I hope they rely on the tension
yeah,
and the thought of because
the
like
build up. You
yeah, the
know,
build up, like even the trailer once again, that very scene we're talking about. It's
it's just
I
one
was
scene,
freak.
right? But you're
Uh,
freaking out. You know what I
I'm
mean?
freaking out not because of the jump scare that I know is gonna happen. I'm freaking out because the back and it's like
Patience.
I
Like,
know something is going to happen. I just
mm,
don't know when it's going to happen.
yeah,
That's the
because
one that bothers me.
jump scares are like cheap humor. You know what I mean? Like it's like a bad pun. You know,
Yeah,
it's just don't rely on
which
jump
is
scares,
which is why
please.
if a horror movie that just rely on jump scare all the time, I usually it's just like you said, it's just cheap,
Yeah,
and it's not
for
as
the
good.
first couple, you're like, oh, jump scare, oh my god. But if it's the whole movie, you're just kind of watching there, sitting. Okay, when's the next one coming? Oh, great, there we go.
Especially if you rely on jump scare so much, and if the jump scare doesn't work, then your movies becomes just totally garbage shit.
Exactly. You're just like
Like
they
I'm
had to
gonna
rely on jump scares for the script. Like, come on, guys.
yeah, I'm gonna shout out a movie that I watched on the plane while
Oh yeah.
flying back here, and I thought I would freak out because it's a horror film, and I don't know if I should watch it on the plane, and it's The Curse of La Llorona, which is still in the universe of The Conjuring, and that was the most utterly horrible horror film one of the worst horror film I've ever seen.
You're scared of how bad it
The
was.
story is not compelling, and they only purely rely on jump scare, and the jump scare does not work at all. Not a single time while I was in the plane that I was scared at all. So that movie was just plain boring for a horror film, and that is sort of an example I feel like of how to not make a horror movie. Just saying, it's harsh,
Yeah,
but it's not that
it's
good.
true. Yeah, jump scares. No, really hope not. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like there's gonna be jump scares from the trailers, but then again, their trailers they show the best part of the movie, so
Mm,
I'm not sure.
usually. But yeah, 2 hour 50 minutes. They probably have lots of stuff that they will keep. Even at one point, I believe Jessica Chastain said on an interview that um, she will be involved in one of the bloodiest scene in cinematic history. Which
Oh,
I have
like
no clue. I have no clue what that will be. But
what's that movie with the two girls in the lift? I forgot the name of that. How do I not know this?
on the lift, are you talking about The Shining?
Yeah, The Shining. Isn't that like
There is a
how does it make
scene.
that blood?
There is a scene of a blood in The Shining, but it wasn't. It's like a blood flood, but it wasn't like a lot of too much blood.
Oh, not gory. Is that what you mean?
Well, I don't know, but
Yeah,
once again, I don't know what the record is for the most blood in a cinematic scene. But Jessica Chastain said that she is involved in one of the most bloodiest scene in cinematic history. So
who knows? Oh,
I can only
that's really
imagine.
exciting.
Remember in the first film, the part where Beverly and that blood just exploded out of the sink?
Oh yeah, in the bathroom. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
god, that is
Maybe they
disgusting.
did. Maybe they will do something like
The
callback
house.
to something callback to that. You know, maybe there will be a callback to that at all.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
freaky
gross. I
because
was
it
not even
was
sure if that was real or not. And I was like, oh shit, because then the kid
the
comes
father
in.
doesn't realize it. The father
Yeah,
didn't
the
see
father-
anything.
oh, nothing. It's nothing. And then I think Richie or Finn comes in. Sorry,
Yeah, Finn Wolfhard, Richie.
yeah, he comes in and is real, and I'm just thinking, what the heck? What the heck? But yeah, no, that would be cool.
Yeah, Calvin once again said that movie Carrie have a lot of blood. And yeah, Carrie is another Stephen King adaptation. So you mentioned The Shining, Jason. Calvin mentioned Carrie, and we're
There's
talking
a
about it.
thing going on here.
So
He likes
Stephen
blood.
King, yep, he's
We found
really
you out.
he got a really effed up mind for horror for blood.
Maybe he's just saying, guys, donate blood. People need blood transfusions. You guys should go out, donate blood. I don't know.
And yeah, like I'm trying to think now since he pointed out, I'm trying to think of other Stephen King film that have lots of blood. I know Cujo is about like a rabies dog. I've never seen, but I'm guessing there will be blood because a dog's like is a rabies dog and is probably just chomping on people. Maybe I don't know. But like some other films, they're not really that much into blood. But I guess these are the top three: Carrie, The Shining, and It in terms of like horror aspect. And
Yeah.
uh, you know what? While we're talking about Stephen King, just really quickly, coming this Halloween, there will be a sequel to The Shining called Doctor Sleep, and I'm so excited for
Ooh,
that. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have not.
I'm so excited for it. Ewan McGregor is playing adult Danny Torrance, and you should really watch the first The Shining film before watching this because they've said that this is a sequel to the film, not the sequel to the book. Because Stanley Kubrick, when he made the film, he sort of sway away from the book, and Stephen King have addressed that he's not really a big fan of the film because it's not a pure adaptation.
Fair enough.
So uh, people was confused if it's going to be a sequel to the book, an adaptation of Doctor Sleep, or an adaptation for a sequel of It Chapter 2. I mean, The Shining, a sequel to The
Shining,
Shining.
yeah.
But they hint in the trailer, they used the music from the first film, so they really hint that it is a sequel to the film.
Yeah.
Arik is in the chat. Hey, Arik, and he
Yo.
says that I think it is the only Stephen King movie that he've watched. LOL. That's fair. I think I've seen several. Oh, lots of people doesn't know this, but Shawshank Redemption is a Stephen King adaptation. It's based on a
Really?
Stephen King book. Yep.
Was that
It's-
a horrible? Was Shawshank a horror?
It's a drama. It's a
But I
really
guess he writes
gritty.
more than horror. He's known for horror, but he writes other stuff as well. I
Yeah,
guess.
and he also wrote there is a book that he made and it adapted in 2017 to a very shitty film called I believe it's called The Dark Towers, and it stars Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba. Such a good combo.
That doesn't make.
But the film fails badly.
Oh.
Oh, I miss a chat on by Calvin. Calvin says Quentin Tarantino films have a lot of blood sprays if you add it up. Yeah, a lot of blood sprays. And if I don't think Calvin have seen the new Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but if you haven't, Calvin, you should check it out. But spoiler alert, not that much blood. There, I'll just say
They're really
that.
good, but it's the very end part. That's what I'm gonna say right
ending,
now.
ending is bizarre. The ending is really bizarre. And if you
That's
okay,
the only part I was interested. I was like, oh, finally, something happens.
that's fair. That's fair. And I was just thrown off by the film because it's not. I'll just say this: it's not faithful to the real story because the real story.
The ending is not correct at all.
Yeah, but which is why it threw me off. And I don't want to spoil it for people who have not seen it.
I'm being serious.
Maybe it's for a separate episode. But yeah, that will be the.
All I could notice was that Brad Pitt's forearms. I'm just saying. That guy
Bro,
goes to the gym.
he's like 55, and there
He's-
is a shirtless scene, and he's still jacked. I'm
I
like,
know
what the heck?
this guy doesn't age. What? I want whatever he's
yeah.
having.
Okay, what do you think it was Brad Pitt's idea, or was it Tarantino's idea for him to go shirtless on that scene?
Oh.
Do you
I
think Brad
reckon
Pitt's like,
Brad, he's like,
hey Quentin, can I
you
take
see
this
when
off?
you let go? See, it's like, see, I'm still going strong, guys. Hire me. He's such a
It's like,
so rich.
imagine in the scene it wasn't scripted, and then he just take off his shirt, and Quentin's
Like,
like,
guys,
Brad,
it's hot. It's hot.
Brad, what are you doing? Just showing off the body. She's
I'm
no spoiler.
experienced.
Yeah, we're not gonna spoil it. We're not gonna spoil
Yeah, we
Once
won't.
Upon a
Don't
Time
worry.
in Film.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and before we transition to the main meat of the show, I'll just have since we're talking about Joker, since we're talking about Pennywise, we're talking about clowns, and what's the fascination with clowns and horror? Are you, Jason? When you
Yeah.
see clowns in the street, what's your
Oh,
initial thoughts? Okay, that's kind of weird, but okay, what's your initial thoughts when you see
no,
clowns
that's
on the street?
fine. I'm just. It's a little creepy. Not gonna lie. Like the big red nose or the makeup. They got something to hide. You can't trust them. I'm not scared, but if you're a clown, stay away.
Don't come on. Oh, what's
What
that
about
behind?
you?
What's that behind you? There's some freaky guy behind you. Just kidding. No. I was
You a
always
clown?
fine with clowns, but now whenever I think clowns on the street, it takes me back to, because there's a phenomena in the U.S. a couple
Yeah, I saw
years
that. That
ago.
is so creepy.
The clowns
You
everywhere.
describe it. Yeah,
It's
it's like people are
fucked up.
driving in their cars, and then on the side of the road, they're like running after you in their
Mhm.
clown costumes. What? These are just—it's so disturbing.
Yeah,
Like-
and they're not even doing anything. They're just there to bother you.
Yeah, they're just trying to creep you out. It's kind of sad how clowns are supposed to bring like joy and laughter to kids, and today it's like they're scary. Like the complete opposite of what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. It's really freaky.
It's so creepy.
You've never seen a full makeup clown in real life. What? Where have
Come
you
on,
been?
bro.
Where have you been living?
Have you been to a circus before? You're not missing out. Don't worry. Well, they're creepy.
All right, I have as a child. I was shook.
I was shook.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone have had a clown for their birthday party at one point. But now, if you have a clown into your birthday party, it's going to be sort of freaky. Once again,
Exactly. They didn't have these. Stick to the pinata, ice cream cake. The lolly bags. You're good to
Mhm.
go. Don't need a clown anymore.
Yeah. Do you think that It Chapter 2 and It in general, Pennywise and Joker, do you think they're the most iconic clowns in cinema and TV? Or can you think of other clowns that is
Whoa.
like freaky in a other way? I
They
can, because
are-
I cannot think of any right now. If anyone in the chat can think of any, let us know. But
I'm
yeah.
trying to think of ones. I've just looked up popular clowns.
Popular clowns. Oh, I know there is actually okay, this is real life, and they should probably make a biopic about this, because I know there is a serial killer that dressed up as a clown. I forget the name though. Oh my god, my Siri turned on, my Siri and my iPad turned on because I said serial killer.
Oh my god! Next minute the police come to your house.
Nope.
Jesus.
Ronald McDonald. That's not really well, he is sort of creepy, but it's not a murderous clown. Krusty the Clown. Oh, Krusty the Clown is a huh? Sorry, James.
Terrifier. I don't know if that's a thing that you've
Never heard of it.
What about Ronald McDonald? He's scary.
Yeah. Calvin mentioned Ronald McDonald in the chat. He's
Oh, did he? Oh, I didn't see that.
Imagine a horror movie starring Ronald McDonald.
Jeez. Guys, here's your Big Mac. Enjoy. Jesus.
That was like Arik mentioned Krusty the Clown. Yeah, he's not really horror, but he is famous. He's sort of famous.
How about Sideshow Bob? No, that doesn't really count. He's never a clown, is he?
Calvin mentioned I never have a clown at any birthday party, and am I missing out? I don't know. I honestly don't know if you are.
I don't think so. All they do is just sit around. Nah, yeah,
No,
no.
okay, no offense. Some of the clown did not do their job well, and maybe that's why. And maybe some kids like, oh, boo, you suck, and then the clown lost their minds, and then they become the
Oh,
Joker
that's
in
like
real
real
life.
psychological.
Yeah, that's how they all gone nuts. That's how they're pissed off. They're not getting paid enough. People doesn't like them, and they're like, God damn it! You know what? I'll just kill all you kids. Oh no.
Oh god, that went dark real quick. Albert, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. And yeah, the one that I'm talking about. Oh shit! I didn't realize this. But yeah,
Mm.
this guy's name. They should really make a biopic of him. His real name is John Wayne Gacy, and he is a serial killer that dressed up as a clown, and he kills people around the Illinois area, which is just a state away from me, which I just found out, and now I'm sorry to get freaked out.
Oh, okay,
And yeah,
okay.
he has killed over 33 plus people, and he's
Just
known
as a
as,
clown.
even looking at the picture freaks me out. If you Google Pogo the clown, that is
Pogo
him.
the clown. Oh my god.
That is him, and he went on a murderous
Oh,
spree. He went on a
dude.
murderous spree.
Oh, see, you can't trust clowns.
Yeah, it's
Look how much
freaky.
makeup he has. Oh my god.
It's so freaky, which is why nowadays, while I'm in the US, if I'm walking alone and I feel like someone's following me, I started freaking out. It was like, please don't murder me. Because there's so many psychopaths here. No offense. There are psychopaths in the streets loose in the US.
Gun control. Come on, guys, hurry up.
Yeah.
Follow Australia. Look what Bob Hawke did. Get
Yeah.
on to it. You're late.
Is gun not legal in the US? I mean, in Australia?
Guns are you can't hold them unless you're like a farmer or you have a proper license, but you can't just go to a shop and buy one.
Yeah.
So gun control.
Yeah.
Strike.
Obesity Strikes. This is my movie.
Yes, I love it.
Ronald McDonald force feed you Big Mac. Imagine like a Saw. Imagine a Saw movie, but the Ronald McDonald is just feeding you all the time. If you don't eat this 100 McNuggets, or I will kill you.
Have you seen the Simpsons movie where I think Homer, he says like, I think the devil, he's feeding him donuts, and then he's eating all the donuts in the whole planet, and he's just this big boy. Have you seen that? Oh, it's great.
No, I've not seen
Oh.
that. Yeah, I should check that out.
Donut eat competition. You know who would be fine with doing that? Matt Stoney. Have you heard of Matt Stoney?
No idea. Who is he?
Really? Okay, so he's a popular YouTuber as well, like yourself. But
I'm not that popular, brother.
but he does food eating like competitions. So I think he's got videos on YouTube. You can look them up as well.
Oh
But he
yeah,
does
I'm looking him up.
10-minute noodles and like 10 like minute noodles in like 10 minutes and stuff. He just eats food really quickly. Does crazy challenges like a kilo of jelly.
What the hell? And he's so skinny.
I know he's skinny, but look at his jaws. Like he's just got a defined jawline. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this guy's chewing for life.
Yeah, the first photo that I found of Matt Stoney is him, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is 7 sausages on his mouth. So you can tell he's a competitive eater right there.
Yeah, he loves his sausages. Give him
Yeah.
a dive.
And yeah, so let's transition to the main meat of the show. And Jason want to talk about best movie going experiences. So Jason, what makes you comes up with this idea? And let's just talk about it directly. Ask your questions and stuff.
Yeah, so recently I've been watching a lot of movies. Like I said, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I used to watch Godzilla recently, and it got me thinking, what are the other movie experiences that other people have had? Because I've had mixed experiences, good and bad. Recently, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, wasted 2 hours of my life. But before that, I watched Godzilla, and I didn't feel like going out with friends, but they were suggesting, "Oh, Godzilla, you know, it'll be a fun movie." That's what they said. I watched the movie. Don't hate on me, but I fell asleep.
I can.
Godzilla. What the heck? I was so bored. I fell asleep. I was like, "What the heck is this?" But yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. The film was not the best. I know Calvin liked it. If he's still in the chat, he'd probably jump in. But I know Calvin liked it.
I offended you.
I did not like the film that much too. I thought Millie Bobby Brown was annoying in the film. I thought that I like her on
The
Stranger Things. No offense, but I thought she didn't do that well in the film. And yeah, the action was great. Once it go to the action was great, but everything else it just drags on for way too much.
drags on. It's like, come on, where is the storyline, people? But God's Eric says Godzilla is amazing. Don't you disrespect him. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
explain this. One of the scenes, he's walking in the ocean, and somehow his torso is above the ocean. And you know how big the ocean is? Explain.
he's
Explain.
not, and yeah, he's not even though he's big, it's not that big.
Have you seen the memes? Oh my god. Some of the craziest drawings I've seen. You see the torso above the water, and then people have drawn underneath. Some of the legs are like
Maybe he's doing like his inside is doing a dog pedal. You don't know he's
he's not
doing a
bad. He
dog
can
pedal.
swim. He can swim. He's fine.
Imagine you're on a submarine and then you see Godzilla dog pedaling.
He's like, help me, I'm drowning. Oh my god, he's just walking like casual. I'm like, what is going on? But yeah, I fell
Anyway,
asleep. But it was like, yeah.
to go back to your point, you were saying.
But yeah, you know, those are some of the bad ones. But I've also had some really good moments, you know. So I watched. This is a throwback to Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol. I think you remember. There's an iconic.
That's a while back.
I know.
That's a real throwback.
This is a real throwback, but I still remember it from that long ago. So I watched it in the cinemas, IMAX. I'm not sure. Do you have IMAX?
Yeah, we have
What do you know what
IMAX.
it is? IMAX, like it's a big screen for those of you who don't know. But when he jumps out of the building to so he's run out of rope, I think, and
Oh
he
yeah,
has to
yeah.
he has to swing like that in IMAX. You just feel him like, oh my god, you get like the shivers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there are some good and bad moments from movie experiences for me, but yeah. Have you had any good or bad experiences for movie watching?
I have a lot, and I can talk about it. But just before we go, that I just want to address the chat. Calvin mentioned Ghidorah is cool. So
He's an alien. He's not even a monster. He's just.
I don't even.
Mothra.
I'll be honest. I just don't even. I don't remember which one Ghidorah is. So
he's got the three heads. The three.
Oh, the dragon. Okay, yeah, dragon.
There's like three monsters in the whole movie, Albert.
Okay, I remember Mothra and Godzilla. Actually, there are lots of monsters in the whole film that
but you
they don't show King Kong though. Which
I would have loved to see that.
They're saving it for the sequel.
There was a big elephant I saw.
Yeah, the big elephant pretty cool. And yeah, if you see the Honest trailer, what they just released, the Honest trailer addressed it very well. It drags on. There's too much. They kill off Sally Hawkins, Oscar-winning award Sally Hawkins, and she died off screen because she got squished.
Oh god, how anticlimactic is that? Jesus, come on, come on, guys.
And yeah, so you're mentioning about movie going experience. You want to hear the good ones? Or you want to hear the bad ones?
Let's start with bad. Leave the good news last.
Okay. Before I start with the bad, I just remember something. When you're mentioning Godzilla, there's actually because I'm in Purdue right now, right? There's actually an event that just happened a few days ago, and they were promoting this like crazy. And my first thought is like, this is a horrible idea. It's they are watching Godzilla King of the Monsters. In the swimming pool, because we have a gymnasium, we have a pool, so they're watching it on the pool. And my first thought is like, holy shit, the amount of wrinkles that's gonna happen after you finish watching the film.
I was like, is that comfortable?
And people first of all, the pool's gonna be crowded, and
is it gonna be cold?
I don't know, and you never know. Once again, I'm sorry if I have to say this. You never know if someone pissed on the pool and you're just watching there.
Yeah, they say I didn't.
Especially if you sit on the pool for so long. First of all, the wrinkles. It could be the water. Of course, there are filter and everything, but you never know if it could be filthy or whatever. And it's not a good idea to watch while you're in the pool.
No, it's not.
What if you have a cramp in the middle of this film?
And no one's gonna help you. They're too focused on the movie. Actually, no, they might.
It's like someone is screaming. Wow, he's so invested in the film.
So wow, what a script. Sounds like someone needs help. Wow, it's so realistic. 4D.
But yeah, Harik mentioned worst movie experience.
It.
Is this saying It, the film It?
It. Hey, it was a good movie.
Well, tell us more, Arik. What you think it is your worst movie experience? But yeah, you said you need my best movie experience. Whew, well, I have to go with okay. What I love about watching movies here in campus, especially in the cinema near campus, if it's a big event movie like Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, and the Last Jedi, even though if the Last Jedi I'm not the biggest fan of, but the experience of it, all those three films, those experiences are incredible because the college kids are nuts
Really?
and they were like screaming and stuff. And I'm gonna spoil all those three films. Like during the scene where Captain America lift the hammer, lift Mjolnir,
Oh yeah,
everyone's like, "Oh!" They all go nuts, and it's crazy and
so
it's fun.
good.
And everyone's like, "Oh no!" Everyone's crying at the same time. Everyone's laughing and screaming. And
Yeah.
even in the Rise of not Rise of Skywalker, in the Last Jedi, when that there is that one scene, uh, Holdo was piloting the ship, and the ship turns around, and then it goes like to hyperspace, hyper jump, and then it blasts everything into pieces.
Everyone was just like, "Woo!"
Everyone's like, "Wow!" And there's this one guy in the audience who's like, "That's how you do it!" And everyone just started laughing. I mean, it's sort of cool, it's sort of fun.
That's what you want. That's so good.
And even when it's in I remember this in the cinema when in Endgame, and I believe Kelvin told us he had the same experience. Not no okay, this is okay, not Endgame, I believe this is Infinity War. When the Wakandan people's like Yibambe,
Oh,
everyone in the audience also starts screaming Yibambe, which is like sort of cool to see everyone's like so involved into it.
I feel like a little people like for me, everyone's too shy. Like no one wants to like laugh or like shout, even though like I think everyone feels it inside them, but it just takes that one person to do it, and then everyone else will do it, but no one does.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it until one person, you need to really bring it out of you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And but yeah, if the best one most likely is Endgame because I was just so invested in that one. I was watching with my friends. I was so invested. I was crying. I was laughing. It was one of the most incredible. I've never forget that experience ever. So,
Yeah, Dad watched it recently. We just got back from Perth and we're watching it on the airplane. And I was watching John Wick 3. Good movie. Very good movie.
it's very good.
Oh my god. Okay, so I watched John Wick 2. Sorry, okay, another bad experience from John Wick 2. At the beginning there's a car chase scene.
Yeah.
That goes for ages. And for some reason our cinema, I don't know what happened, but the volume was turned full volume.
Oh
My
no.
ears were about. I was sitting near the front as well because I think we bought the tickets a bit late, but we really wanted to watch it. We bought the tickets and I sat near the front. Freaking hell! It was the loudest thing I've ever heard in my entire moving career. And then I looked side to side to my friends, saying, "Is it just me, or are you guys hearing it?" They were nodding. And then we looked to other people in the cinema. They're watching like nothing's happening. I'm thinking, are you serious?
Are you
This
sure it's
isn't
not you, Jace?
normal.
Are you sure it's not you?
This isn't normal, guys. This is so loud. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's a bit of. But yeah,
I honestly don't remember a car chase scene in John Wick 2, but that's because I haven't seen John Wick 2 in so long.
yeah.
But yeah, it really, if the like you said, if the audio is very wrong in the theater, or if the
Not
screen is
present.
like if the screen is not that good, like if it's lit poorly, it could really throw you off.
Quality.
Like I just saw this film recently. It's called Good Boys on theaters. It's a coming of age comedy starring Jacob Tremblay from Room, the Oscar-winning Room, and I thought the film was great. But for some reason, the screen was so dark in the cinema. I don't get it, which sort of like bugs me at first. But eventually, I'm like, I'll deal with it. But yeah,
In the
it
back of your
doesn't.
head, you're like, this is not. This could be better. Yeah.
Yeah. And Arik in the chat mentioned this, and I'm gonna tell this story. This is a horrible movie going experience. Me and Arik, we were watching Deadpool 2,
What?
and yeah, the employee forgot to play the film.
Are you for real?
And I'll tell you the story right here. So how it happens is me and Arik, we were watching. We know usually there will be like previews, like 30 minutes of previews of like trailers and shit, something like that. So what happened in our theaters is everyone is seated already. There's not that much people. And okay, first of all, this movie experience is double shit because not only this, but there is I'll call out on this. Okay, wait, give me a second. There
Okay.
is someone
Argument.
there is someone in the theaters that's sitting right across of me. It's a woman. I never met her in my life. She was playing with her phone so much in the film, and she's
Oh, what?
full brightness. I hate that so much. Full brightness, and because maybe it's because in the US, ever since in the US, when someone do that, people are like more prone to like screaming at people, like, "Yo, turn off your phone!" Someone screamed that before in the cinema before. So I'm like, I can do this. So
Do that.
this woman in the middle of the film playing her phone full brightness, just texting, and I'm like, God damn it! You pay for a freaking movie. Turn off your goddamn cell phones. So
Exactly.
I was whispering to Arik, damn, dude, that phone is really irritating me. Like, Arik's like, yeah, I know what you're gonna do about it. I'm gonna
Oof.
talk to her. So I literally,
Oof.
I stand up,
Yeah,
I
tell
walk to her. I'm like, hey, in Bahasa Indonesia, I'm like, hey, can you turn off your phone, please? It's really bothering me. And
me.
the women, I can tell she's pissed. I'm like, yeah, fine. And then what she did after was like, she was in her with her screen. I walked back to my seat. I can tell she's doing this. She's playing with her phone, and then she's flashing it to me like that on purpose. I'm like,
On
I can
purpose.
tell. I'm walking back to my seat. I can tell she's doing that, and then I'm like, fuck you. I just go back to my seat, and then. But after I said that, she never touched her phone at all for the rest of the film, which makes it my experience that much better.
That's
But
it.
so yeah, that is the first part of the shitty experience of that film.
Oh yeah, part 2.
The first part, which is the worst one, is that
How did I forget to play the movie? What the heck?
so I don't know how this happened. So in the theaters, they usually before they do previews of the trailer, they usually just do promotion for the theater itself, right? They have like
Yeah.
for the theaters and whatever associated with. So there's just this one screen of like I'm just gonna call out the cinema. It's Cinemax theaters. So they just have Cinemax writing for so long, and I'm just looking at my clock. I'm like, huh,
Something's up
we're
here.
nearly 30 minutes in, and we haven't seen a single previews. And I don't think other people mind or they even notice, or maybe they do, but they just don't want to do anything
Very
about it.
patient.
And me and Alex like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, if we're 30 minutes in, they should have at least played trailers already by now. I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try to go out and talk to the front. I'm going to talk to the cashier or whatever, the employees. And I talked to the guy and it's like, hey, Cinema 3, we're supposed to watch Deadpool 2 30 minutes ago. And the film haven't started and not even the previews. And then the guy's like, oh.
Uh-oh.
And then he checked on his computer and it's like, oh, they haven't played the film yet. They didn't realize they haven't played the film yet. And then he directly screamed out to his friend. I was like, hey, so Deadpool 2, they haven't played the film. Oh, they haven't played the film? And they're all talking like they didn't realize that they haven't played the film. I'm like, oh my god! And then they're like, okay, we will play the film directly. Thank you for letting us know, sir. And I walked back to my seat, and then there was this one guy in the front of the cinema talking like asking me what's going on, and I'm like, yeah, they forgot that the film is supposed to play, so they're just gonna play the film now. So what the heck? Can you imagine that? They forgot to play the whole damn movie.
One job. Can you imagine if you didn't actually go out and ask them what's happening? That could have just been. You could have been sitting there for 40 minutes before they realized.
I know. If I didn't do anything, I don't know what will happen.
Job, people. I think I had an opposite experience to you. So we were watching Go and Go, me and Dad, and it was been out there for a while. To be fair, but we wanted to watch it, so we watched it. And then when we went in the cinema, there was nobody there. Right? It was just me and Dad. I was like, okay. So we sat down, similar experience to you, black screen, and we check in the clock. We're like, okay, there's no movie playing. What's up? No one's coming as well. It's just me and Dad, and we've already been here for like 10 minutes. I'm like, Dad, should I like go check someone? So then we talk to them, and then they're like, oh, there are actually people watching the Gone Girl session. So I guess we have to play the movie because I don't know.
Oh, because you're the only two.
Only two people. They're like, oh, there's no one watching it. So literally, me and Dad, we have like prime position, like right in the middle. No one bugging us with stupid phones and kids crying and kids talking and stuff. So we just kind of watched there in peace. It's like the whole room just to ourselves. It was great.
Yeah, I know what? I have a bunch of movie going experience that's bad too that I'm going to talk about real soon. But I just want to. I just remember an experience that was a blast for me, and it was not even a good film. It was an okay film. Have you heard of the film Sing? I think it's a DreamWorks
Oh,
animated film.
Taron Egerton.
Yeah, Taron Egerton plays the ape, which
Yeah,
he sings "I'm Still Standing"
oh,
by
that's so
Elton John,
so
and
good.
then now he's playing Elton John in the
And that's his
biopic. So
audition. That's his
that's his
audition.
audition. That's what I was thinking because he's really good in that role. It's his
He
voice.
is.
So that movie Sing, it was an okay film. It was fine. But what makes the movie going experience really good is because they use pop songs, right? They use songs like they had "Shake It Off" in the film by Taylor Swift. They had "I'm Still
Yeah.
Standing." They had so many iconic songs, and people are familiar with it. So in the cinema, especially during that very last scene, was like a concert moment, like all of the characters like singing for a competition, and everyone in the cinema were like clapping along and singing along like a karaoke,
Oh,
like a sing
really?
along. You know, they're
Oh,
like
that's so exciting.
they're like they're just like clapping and they're like,
Concert.
yeah, shake it off, and then like, wow, what the heck?
That's so good.
So it's so fun. It's like I know they had this in the US. I know they've had like sing along versions of a movie.
Yeah, like
Because
what's it called? I think when
Greatest Showman had
Greatest
that.
Showman? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
they
one.
had a sing along for Great Showman, which I wanted to attend, but I didn't got time to. But they have done that. But this is not a sing along version. They didn't have the lyrics on the screen, but people were just singing along and clapping. I'm like, wow, this is I did not pay for this, but I like it.
Yes, it's all about that crowd participation. You know, like it's all good at watching the movie, but if you can get the crowd going, oh yeah.
Okay, Calvin in the chat mentioned I once threw popcorn to someone who keeps talking in the movie.
Actually,
Hashtag big brain.
oh,
And
big brain.
Arek,
Exactly.
Arek mentioned to Calvin, didn't your cinema blacked out once when you're watching? And Calvin replied, yeah, in Botany while watching Madagascar too. Oh, so the screen, so the cinema just blacked out the whole.
Oh, that's
So
unfortunate.
wait, so what happened? Did you leave the theater or what happened? Let us know, Cal, because that's very unfortunate. And talking about chugging popcorns, I too have thrown popcorns, not just one, not just two, half a bucket of popcorns to a bunch of kids sitting in front of me. And what a callback, what a coincidence that it was the film It. Because when I was watching this film, there is so it was four of my friends and we were watching this film, right? And in front of us, there is a bunch of spoiled little brats who's watching the film and talking throughout the film, and they're laughing because they're like, oh my god, they're so stupid. Why don't they just run away? It's like so annoying, and it threw you off out of the film, right? And I know it's not just me, because several people in the audience, but especially me, because I'm sitting right behind them, several people have been screaming like, hey, shut up, shush, whatever. They've been screaming at the kids, but the kids like stay silent. They stay silent.
Like a game, probably.
Sorry, what?
I think it's like a game to them. Like, oh, we're annoying people. We're gonna keep doing it more and more.
Yeah. And they're like, whenever someone like shush at them, they're like, they stay silent for a bit, and then they eventually, for a couple of minutes later, they start doing it again, and it's getting annoying. And there was this one scene. After I throw my popcorn, they stay silent. But there is this one scene, and it is one of the scariest scene in cinema. Well, not scary. One of the scariest jump screen in cinema. And it's the projector scene. You remember the scene?
Oh, they're in the garage, isn't it?
Yeah,
And he comes out.
that scene is so freaky, and I can sort of tell. I can sort of tell that there's going to be jumps. What's it called? Jump scare in that scene. They also, because they sort of hint on it on the trailer, and I can sort of tell from how they're pacing it that there's going to be jump scare. And I was legit scared in the scene, but I can sort of tell also that's going to be happening. So I prep myself. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna chug my bucket of popcorn to them, pretending that I was scared. And when that scare happened, not only I was legitimately scared, but I also was prepping that. So I shake my popcorn. A whole bunch of popcorn just flew out of my bucket, and it hit them on the face. And like, oh man! And after that, they shush. They never said a single word. I'm like, I feel like that's accomplished.
You did a good job there. They finally got the message, to not mess around in the cinema.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's really annoying. Calvin chimed back in the chat. The whole mall blacked out. Yikes.
Oh my god.
Waited about 15 to 20 minutes, then generator turns on. That's about it. Oh, so you continue to film again eventually, did you?
On the same spot? Can you imagine this start
really
again?
Messed up.
Start again?
Oh, it'll start from the whole film.
No, I had another weird experience. I was with you as well. We were watching with your mom, Auntie Helen. I think Angie was there as well. Justin. We were watching Spider-Man, Tom
Homecoming.
Holland. Yeah, Homecoming.
Homecoming.
So I was watching. I was like, "Oh, this is a really good movie. I really like the actor." And then your mom, or Auntie Helen, she looks across at me, and I look at her, and I'm just thinking, "Is everything okay?" And she just keeps looking across.
Why?
I asked her at the end, and she's like, "You look like him." And I was like, "Do I really?" Like this is Asian Tom Holland. I don't know, but I
You
was
you
really
you you
funny.
have you have that boyish charm that Tom Holland has. Maybe that's why.
Maybe, I don't know, but I was just like, "This is hilarious." I've never been told that I look like an actor before, but I don't know. Have you got any famous lookalikes? Do you reckon?
Danny DeVito once. No, just kidding.
No. Oh yeah.
No, I don't think so. Not that I know of.
There's got to be somebody out there.
Someone have mentioned this, and I don't think that's true at all. Someone said I look like Henry Golding, which
Henry
doesn't
Golding.
really. He's
Have a look.
the Crazy Rich Asian dude.
Oh, Henry
He's
Golding.
a good looking guy. I'll gladly accept that
Oh,
compliment.
Albert.
I'll gladly accept that compliment. But I don't think I look like him at all. And
Apparently, I look like a guy from Koi Desserts. He's an Australian dude, and he owns
Koi
a dessert.
desserts.
Yeah, Koi Dessert. The owner.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, I look like that guy as well. I don't know.
Oh, okay. No idea who he is.
Neither did I. I was like, I don't need
Calvin
desserts.
Calvin in the chat says they start off where they left off talking about the blackout. And he also mentioned that he almost spilled popcorn while watching Endgame because of the Hulk jump scare, which is when he's opening the door. He mentioned the story in the podcast several times too. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And I know
Oh,
you have
yeah.
a bunch of questions again, Jason, which we'll get to that. But I have several horrible movie going experience. One of which is, I don't know if I've told this in the podcast or not before, but I was watching. Oh man, I can't remember the film. Is it? Wait, I'm trying to remember. I know it's an animated film because there's a bunch
Describe
of
it.
kids.
Bunch of kids.
It's either Hotel Transylvania 3 or it's Lego Batman movie.
They're quite different.
I know, but they're animated. They're animated and they're during the summer, and I watch them in the cinema on my own. That's how. It's one of them. I think it might be Lego Batman because it's a while back, and why that movie was shit for me. Okay, the film was good. I like the film, but the experience was so shit because I never realized this could happen in a cinema.
Yeah.
And there's no one in charge, and I'm not gonna leave the cinema and miss a part of the film for this. And I was probably the only like people of my age in that cinema because I was watching on my own. It's the summer. It's like,
yeah.
Huh? Yeah, everyone's younger and they're either like with their mom and their dad or something. And I was like at a 1 a.m. showing, so it was like during school time, so maybe that's why. And I was in the summer and I was no one in school. So the kids, they were playing tag on the aisle in the staircase. They were running up and down the staircase chasing, you're it. I'm like, what the fuck? Is no one else gonna tell them to shut up and sit down?
Does that?
I'm just trying to block them out. Luckily, they don't scream that much, but I can tell that they're moving around. I'm like, God damn it! And I'm not gonna scream at the kids because I don't know that. I feel like the parents will just scream back at me. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that. Like, I really don't want to get into a discussion in the middle of a film. You know, I don't want to get into that. So I'll just try to ignore it. Yeah, I'll just ignoring them. But it really bugs me. It really bugs me. How do you tell them to stop in that situation?
I think it's like you just gotta let the parents. Hopefully, they recognize it,
which they don't.
You know what? They're doing ignorance is bliss.
Bad parenting.
Ignorance is bliss. But come on.
Yeah, they eventually stopped because they got tired. Which I'm like, thank God. Yeah.
I feel your pain. Sometimes when I play tennis on Sundays with family, and it's at like a community club, and so family friends like small kids come as well, and the fences for a tennis court, there's holes in it, and we'll be serving and like just playing tennis. Kids will be banging on the fence like, "Hurry up, you're so bad!" They're like shouting, distracting you. you're trying to focus, like you're trying to focus on the movie. We're trying to play tennis. Like, just get your kids under control. It's not that hard. Just
Yeah, I
no.
know. And yeah,
Just
while we're at it, I believe you have one of the questions which I'm skipping a question, but we'll can go back to it. But one of your questions that you point out to me is like, do you prefer watching with friends, family, or yourself? And it probably depends on the film once again. But yeah, if one of the things that's like in a movie going experience, the community event of it is fun. Like in Endgame, that's great. But if
mm.
you're stuck with a people which is a bunch of assholes and they're like they have kids running around or they're playing with their phones, that's when going to the movies it really threw you off.
It does. It just ruins the experience. Also, some people like they don't know the movie that well, but you know the movie pretty well. Like for example, you're watching Avengers, and
Mhm.
there's all these characters in the movies,
Oh,
and you're
and
watching
they're
with
like
a friend.
asking around.
You're like, oh, who's this guy? Who's that guy? I'm just like, no, just stop. I will tell you at the end of the movie. Just
I
don't
know, right?
distract
I
me.
know.
Just be quiet. That's when I enjoy watching it by myself. But then when you watch by yourself, it's kind of lonely. But at least you don't have that nagging in your ear.
Yeah, that's true. And once again, it depends on nowadays for me. It depends on what kind of film it is. If it
Mm,
is an indie, and I know if it is like an indie film, and I know I'll probably get emotional and something like that. I prefer watching it on my own so that if
yeah.
I cry, I can cry, and I don't worry. Nobody else is crying, so I don't feel weird.
You know a movie that I oh you go.
What?
A movie that I didn't think I was gonna cry in, and I watched by myself. I watched it online, but I was trying to get other people to watch it. They weren't interested. But Coco,
Oh, so good.
the ending when he keeps
Oh,
like disappearing, and you're just like, oh my god! I just started crying. I didn't even know
yeah.
why. It
I
was
mean,
like,
it probably hit you personally too,
yeah, I was
because
like, no, the mom. Oh my god!
oh,
But yeah, that was a movie I did not expect to cry in. Not that I've
uh,
cried in many movies. New topic: crying movies. When have you cried?
but yeah, like I said, once again, it depends on if it's an indie nowadays. I prefer to watch it on my own.
Mm,
If it's a comedy, having a couple of friends will be nice, so you can chuckle along. You laugh
yeah.
together. If it is a big cinematic experience, I like watching with other people. Especially, I like watching if it's a movie franchise and it's something huge. I
Mm,
like watching with people who are my friends, but also at the same time that they are familiar with the franchise.
and knowledgeable, like so you can talk to them about it and stuff.
Yeah, after I can talk to it about them and they don't ask around too. Not just my friends who've not into not that much of the movies, but it's sort of like it's not as fun. Like once again, if I'm watching Endgame with a bunch of people who've never seen a single Marvel movie at all,
Can't relate. Oh
it
my
won't be
god.
as fun. So
Yeah, they can't relate to the massive
mhm.
what's the word for it? Crossover. That's the word. Like,
Yeah,
oh, this is a bunch of superhero movie. No, you don't understand how many years they did to take to this level. Okay, you don't understand.
yeah, and like for horror nowadays, if it's a horror that I'm really excited about, I like to check the Rotten Tomato score, so I sort of know if it's a good movie or a bad movie. If it's a good horror movie, I like to watch with people who I know will be quiet during the film. If it's
Mm,
a bad horror movie, I don't mind watching people who talk about because I know some people who's like talking over it. Sometimes okay, if not in theaters, if it's like just watching at home, if
yep,
it's
yeah.
not a really good horror film, I can watch with some people because I know they will talk over it sometimes and discuss about it. Like, oh, like that's so stupid, they should have run away, and so I'm fine with it. But if it's a really good horror movie, I want to be invested in it. So I like being either alone and I freaked out. I don't care if I'm watching alone. I'm scared on my own, or someone who's I know will be quiet too, so it don't take me out from the film.
That's so true. Like I was just gonna add on to like taking me out of the film. They're building up this tension. They're working so hard to like create this atmosphere where you're scared, like you're feeling something's about to happen, and then they just tap you on the shoulder, and they just talk to you. I'm like, "Well, just don't like try to watch a movie here." But yeah, I agree. It's for different genres. It's important to get the group, like the right amount of people, like the type of people that you're with.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's we got a lot of chat that we missed. Arik mentioned this. I've told the story many times, and I will again. Calvin got extremely spooked when the tribesmen blink in Kong Skull Island. Yeah, and if you watch Kong Skull Island, I believe Arik have mentioned this on the podcast several times too. There is a scene where the camera just pans and the tribesmen. They're like in full camouflage, and then you just see a wall, and then suddenly the eyes just open, and then Calvin was like, he just he freaked out, and there's not even a jump scare. There's no sound or whatever. It's just a
Like,
guy doing. Calvin freaked out. So yeah. Oh, Calvin mentioned watching alone is always nicer, especially those horror like Babadook. Yeah, once again, it really depends with the people who the people is. But if you really want to get invested in it, which is why recently I've leaned into watching on my own. Like I like the communal experience and watching with people and all, but it I like to get invested in the film. Calvin, Tangled is a tear jerking movie. Arek, Andrea, I cried in. I cried in the hat because Calvin forced me to watch it, and Calvin just texted me personally and he told me to put this in the chat in the live show. Cat in the Hat is the best movie ever. Yep, kicking Calvin out of the podcast forever officially. Inconceivable. Yes, Arik, I agree with you. It is inconceivable that Cat in the Hat is the best movie ever created. It is not. It is the absolute garbage.
That's exactly.
Cat in the Hat is a horror film. Okay, it's
that's a horror film. That's its own category.
Yep.
Oh.
So yeah. So you had a bunch of questions. Let's address your question number 2 that you mentioned to me. You want to ask that?
Yeah. So did you prefer gold class? Is gold class and 3D worth it? Do you reckon?
So yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, gold class. I'm guessing you mean like something like IMAX as well,
class?
or like premium experience and IMAX and 3D.
Yeah. Like you have to pay more money. So you've got like your standard cinema where you just watch it normal, and then you can get food and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. For in here in the U.S., I've been to several theater chains and several theaters. I've been to one, of course, in Indiana. I don't think I've watched in Chicago, but I've been to inside the cinema in Chicago. I've been to one in Vegas. I've been one in California, in Arcadia, and in LA.
Quite a few.
And and from what I've experienced, they don't have different tiers of cinema of theaters.
Really?
But so like in a if it's a high end cinema, all of the seats and all of the theater showings, they're like high end and prestigious. But if it's just a casual cinema, it's all the same. So like there is no gold class in one cinema.
Yeah.
But they have different cinemas for different classes.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So like the most famous one, which lots of people have talked about and never seen, and I hope one day I can go there. It's what's it called? It's the ArcLight in Hollywood, and it's like the most prestigious. I believe it's like $18, which is kind of expensive, but everyone in there, everyone who goes there pays. They get their bucks worth it, because not only they want to watch for the cinema, so the audience is very much, they know not to play with their phones, they know not to talk, so the audience is for sure going to be guaranteed good.
Important.
Because you pay a lot of money for it, so you know you'll be guaranteed a good experience, because you know that you want it to be worth it, right? So not only that, and I believe there is like servants who come in and serve you food as well in the ArcLight Hollywood. So it's like very prestigious high-end cinema, and the screen is good as well and everything like that. And on the other hand, there's like the standard cinema, which is like good seats. You can buy the concessions outside, those kind of stuff. And then there's a cinema like here in campus, which is like sort of the lower ends. The seat is like a theater seating, which we can fold, which is not the best seats, but it still does the work. It still does the job. Yeah. So, what was your question? Is gold class good and 3D worth it?
Would you rather pay a high fee for good seats and, as you said, the right people around you, or pay the standard price but maybe not the best experience?
If the seat is really that good, and the price, if the price is not like crazy over the top, like $20, because I don't think I've experienced that $20. But if it's still worth it, I'll still go for it. If it's good for it, and it depends on the movie too. If it's a good movie, I'm willing to pay for it. If it's an indie movie, once again, I'd rather just watch at home, wait for it for streaming, and not waste that much money for it. But for 3D, I'm not the biggest fan of 3D films.
I don't think 3D is, because in Australia we had 3D for a while. Like, it was like a big thing. Like, 3D, it's going to be the next revolutionary thing.
I think it was big because of Avatar.
Glasses, And that was kind of a big turn off for most people because if you're wearing glasses
Yeah,
already
yeah,
and you have
yeah.
to wear glasses again, that's not
It
going to
doesn't.
work
It
out
doesn't
very
work.
well. Exactly, it
Yeah,
doesn't work. And I don't think the 3D effect was that good anyway. So you're paying more money, you're wearing glasses, and what you're getting for it isn't that good. So I think that was a phase where they tried 3D, wasn't worth it
yeah.
for my opinion.
Yeah. I think it was that phase was Avatar when James Cameron released it
Yeah,
in two
I
thousand
think I remember
nine.
that.
I think it's the early 2000s to the late 2000s where 3D is like the going nuts and they're like experimenting with everything. And
Which is
it
good.
was
Yeah.
Avatar was good on 3D, and that's why people was like, "Oh, you got to watch it on 3D." And people was starting to pump up 3D films, and they just some of them were just converting regular films to 3D. Some of them was actually making it film to
Making
be
it.
good in 3D. But you never really know, So it's not really worth it most of the time.
Yeah, I think like the first movie that I watched 3D was maybe like I think it was Spy Kids maybe. I think they made Spy Kids like a good 3D. I think there was lava at one stage and the lava would come out of the screen rather than just the whole movie just like popping,
Oh yeah, Spike is 3D. I was just about to say that.
That
That
was
was
good.
it was good, but it was so obnoxious.
Yeah,
Eventually, it was really in your face. It was like they were like punching, and there was like it's literally
coming out.
come to yeah. It's like paint splatter and everything. Oh my god!
But it's good, right? You're getting
I watched it
really
for the first time I would say 3 months ago on Netflix, and I'm
mm.
like, I'm asking because in Netflix it's just called Spy Kids 3, but the actual
Oh
title is actually Spy Kids 3D. So I was asking
yeah.
my friends who've seen it, hey, is this film supposed to be 3D or what? Because I feel like it's supposed to be 3D. I'm like, yeah, it's called Spy Kids 3D, and I Google it. Oh, it's called Spy Kids 3D, and Netflix called just Spy Kids 3. I didn't
It's
realize it.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so obnoxious eventually.
It's a lot. It's a
I
lot
cannot
to take
imagine
in.
if you're seeing in cinema. It so must be like crazy.
Well, this is gonna be the next obnoxious thing. So that they're advertising in here hydraulic seats. I don't know if you heard of hydraulic seats before.
Oh, like yeah, like the moving
But you're
seats.
moving. You're moving. I'm like, what the heck?
Have you actually
Like,
tried that?
I have not tried that, but I imagine it's something like a 4D cinema. I don't know if you've tried that before.
Yeah, in the US they call it 4DX, and I believe that's only in AMC right now, AMC theater chains. And
Mm.
I've not experienced it, but some people say it makes shit
Is it
movies
good?
better. It makes shit
Really?
movies better because at least
Okay.
expensive.
I mean, I can't judge. I haven't done it
I
before,
don't know. I've never seen it before, but
but I think it'll get
I've
annoying, doesn't it?
yeah, I guess so because like if you're moving, and
And moving.
I believe it's because I might be wrong, but I believe the seats are like it's sort of shaped like a half an egg. And I don't know if this is true or not that they say there are speakers inside the seats which would be very
Oh,
loud.
do you have to
I'm
wear a
guessing.
seatbelt? I don't know.
Actually, I'm gonna Google the location, but I believe like it sort of moves around with you, right?
Yeah. Because I've had in movie world in the Gold Coast. There's a 4D cinema for Shrek, and I think some of the scenes they're at a swamp, and you feel like water
Yeah, yeah,
getting
yeah,
onto you, or there's like spiders into your seats, which is kind of cool.
yeah.
But
Those they have that. I think they have that in all the Universal parks.
yeah.
They have the track for the experience, and yeah, that's oh, okay, never mind. The 40X seats in AMC, they don't I don't know I don't know what that was about it. I say the half egg thingy. But it's just regular seats that just move around and they have like mist coming out of under your seat and stuff like that. So
I mean, you're probably paying a bit more, but is it worth the
yeah,
price again? Like, I don't know.
I mean if you're watching something like I'm trying to think something on top of my head right
Okay,
now.
what's
If
a
you're
car like Fast and Furious? Like, ooh, like you feel
like,
it.
that
That
would be
might be
crazy.
cool. That'd be cool, but like, I don't know.
But
But for me, I think
if you're watching something like Booksmart and 4DX, that probably won't be
oh,
something
like,
moving
oh,
at
it turns
all.
the page. Whoa.
So yeah.
No.
So to answer your question, I don't think 3D is worth it. I don't think 4DX is worth it unless it depends on the film and unless
Mm,
people really say it. And I guess it goes with 3D. If it's like something like Avatar, I guess it might be. But once again, they really need to develop something that can help people with glasses because I wear glasses too, and
yeah, that would get annoying.
it's really annoying. And I remember it especially. I watched Doctor Strange on 3D, and I mentioned this on the podcast
Oh,
several times. I think
dizzy.
it was not only dizzy. Arik fell asleep, and we just joked around that Arik went to the astral plane during that moment. His soul
Nice.
escaped his That's how immersed he is in the film. So it's 3D. And yeah, the gold experience, I guess it can be worth it depending on the film too, and as long as it's not too expensive. Would you
Yeah,
agree
yeah.
or?
Well, for us, Gold Class is quite a bit more expensive. I think it's cost like the double the ticket price,
Oh yeah.
and I don't think it's worth it. Like you can recline the chairs. The chairs are slightly more cushiony, and you can order food, but the food's overpriced anyway. So I don't order it if I was gonna get Gold Class. But I think the next level for us is VMAX. So it's a bigger screen. So for movies like Avengers, we went to watch that, and that was amazing. So I would stick to, like you said, if it's a big movie, I'd go that a bit more like luxurious. But I'm perfectly fine with just the standard, really. Like
Yeah, and you mentioned VMAX, and I'm gonna say IMAX as
yeah,
well. I
same.
don't know if that's the same thing. I think it's VMAX
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I never. It's an Australian thing. Is that
IMAX
VMAX
is massive, but VMAX is like
smaller?
just like a bigger screen, but not
Oh, okay.
IMAX size. Yeah.
Yeah, IMAX can be worth it. Like I watch Endgame on IMAX and it's worth it. But once again, it depends because there's lots of cinema which do quote unquote fake IMAX, which they claim to be IMAX, but they just make it a little bit bigger, not exactly the real IMAX size, you know.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So you really have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
But if it's a good film and it's a event film, I just say an event film like a Star Wars film or
Yeah.
a
Like a franchise, big franchise movie. Yeah.
yeah, big
Like
franchise,
Harry
like an
Potter.
epic, like maybe even it, because it's like a 3 hour film, so it might be worth it to watch it on the big screen like that.
Yeah.
So you know, if it's an event, if it's a an epic, usually that's how
Mm.
people say like a 3 hour film. They usually say an epic. So if it's something like that, maybe an IMAX would be worth it.
I got a question for you. Your seating. Do you like to sit in the middle back or middle? Or middle front if you're feeling a bit of interest?
I always go. Um, I like middle. I like I like sitting in the middle, but I like it in between the back and in between the middle. So it's like
Oh,
right in between. So not exactly in the middle, but not exactly to the back. So like right on the border of the.
that's what I want.
If you
Yeah.
split this, if you split the cinema the seating into 3 tiers, like
Yep.
front, middle, and back, I'm in the border of the front leaning. I'm in the border of the back leaning to the middle. If that makes any sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Somewhere in the cinema. Okay.
Yep.
For me, I used to go back, like middle back, but then I tried out middle, and I think I just found a new place to sit because it's so immersive when you sit in the middle. You don't get like the black border of the cinema, so like it feels like you're in the cinema, but you're not so close that you're going to go blind. But yeah, I think middle for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. All right. So let's transition to your next question that you asked. And
What is
I'm gonna ask you. Let's switch it up. You said locations. You prefer
location?
cinema, how, home, plane, or car? Plane or car? Okay,
Well,
let's hear this. Let's hear this.
okay, so plane or car. I guess like I just came back from Perth, and that's like the best way to kill time in an airplane is to watch movies. But I was thinking, don't really know I was going with that movie to be honest. I think where have you seen movies that are weird? I guess
Huh?
plane, plane is plane a. What is that question? I don't even know what I was writing in the question. I guess well, that question was originally like, where do you prefer to watch movies, like the cinema or at home? And I think I added plane and car just as like alternative to those because that like two options
Yeah.
isn't a lot. But personally, I
Yeah, that's fair.
prefer the convenience of home is very nice, and I know it's like clean and I don't have to worry about other people. But then again, if you're watching the cinemas, it's like an event, like you're going out to something. So I guess then it's just a matter of what the movie I'm watching. For plane, it's so cramped. How do you enjoy movies on a plane? Like
You don't really, and I'm trying to think of a
away?
movie that I'm trying to see. I'm trying to think if there is ever a movie that I've watched in a plane that that's the first time I see it, and I really fell in love with the film. But
Oh,
while I'm
I've
like,
got a
well,
movie. When Sally met Harry? No, when Harry met Sally.
When Harry met Sally,
That I
yeah,
watched that in the plane, and I was
for the
like,
first time.
yeah, for the first time, really good movie. Really good
Yeah, it
movie.
is. It's a great movie, and I can see why you probably fell in love with that film because it's not. You can sort of see it in a small screen, and it's fine. It's a rom
Yeah,
com, and it's not really an epic event film.
when
So
it's not
watching it for the first time in that scale is probably still pretty working.
Yeah, I watched John Wick on the flight, and I was just like, "This is not good." I mean, the movie was
It,
great, but I wish it was like bigger.
it's yeah. If you watch it, it will be better. It's probably still good in the plane, but not as good. It should have been
Because a
for.
lot of like the action scenes are well like choreographed, like
Hmm.
a lot of fighting, like up close
Yeah,
stuff that would have looked really cool. But oh
yeah.
well,
Like I recently watched Alita Battle Angel
that
on
was
the first time in
amazing.
the plane,
I
and
love
I
that.
wish I see it in the cinema because I feel like there is so many epic scale to it that could have been so much better in cinema. But I didn't get a chance to, and I watched it in the plane, and I sort of liked the film. I hated the ending, but I
Yeah,
thought
is there gonna be number two? That's what
I've
it
no,
kind of looks
I don't think that's happening, which is weird why they did that ending. But anyway, back to the point. It's like I'm trying to think of a. Well, I'm still thinking about it. If I can remember anything that I watched on a plane that really was I invested to me. Um, how if I watch, I'll get to the car point first. I know
like.
people cannot stand watching the car because like dizzy and stuff. I'm one
Yeah,
of the few that can sort of handle it, and I've
really.
seen as of late recently because when I'm not driving, I watch in the car sometimes because I want to catch up on some stuff. And recently, because if you don't know, I have a club here in Purdue, and it's a movie trivia club like the Schmodown. And so I want to like train in the inner geekdomverse, which is like the DC, the Marvel stuff. And I've missed out on a bunch of like older DC films, like the older Batman, the older Superman. I've seen it as a kid, but I forget everything. So I'm like rewatching everything, and I've been rewatching it on the car, and it's like it's been working. At least it's fine. It's just if I wanna fill my time in a car instead of doing anything, I can watch it. So it's if it's something to fill up time with, and it's something that I probably have seen, I feel like car is fine.
Yeah, car is fine. I sometimes read in the car as well, but I get a bit dizzy as well.
Mhm.
Another movie that I saw on the airplane for the first time that was really good, The Impossible. I don't know if you've heard about it or not. It's got Ewan McGregor and
Oh, it's about the tsunami, is it?
yeah, yeah,
Tom Holland is in there too,
yeah. It's a good movie.
and I believe it's Naomi Watts. I
Yeah,
believe.
it's another movie I cried in. Fuck, god damn it. But yeah, that was
uh,
also a good movie. But yeah, I don't know. Some airplanes aren't the greatest, but I think it's a good way because there aren't usually many options. So I'm really indecisive
mhm.
when it comes to choosing stuff. So
Yeah,
there's only a few choices. It makes it easier.
I'm still thinking if I remember any good films that there's some good films that I watch in the airplane, but it doesn't really immerse to me. But while I'm still thinking about that, to answer a question of cinema or home, uh,
Ooh,
if it's
tough.
once again big event films, I like cinema. But if it's smaller indie films, which I feel like nowadays there is no in between, which sort of sucks. I feel like nowadays it's either a really big film or a really small film. I feel like I cannot think of an in between film right
Or
now.
there's just lots of copies, like Dora the Explorer. Great, so good, so
Yeah,
good.
like it's either indie or a blockbuster film. There's just those two. And if it's an indie film, I like to get it early in the cinema, and that's always nice. But I would rather prefer watching it at home in the comfort because like I can pause it if I need to go to the bathroom. That's like the biggest issue of cinema. You cannot pause it, and if you need a bathroom break, or
You gotta hold it,
if you want to eat whatever while watching, so that's always good while you're
like
watching at
drinking
home.
loudly and all that,
Yeah,
and like lying down. You can't lie down in a cinema.
yeah, lie down in cinema. I mean, if there's empty chairs, you can probably do
Book
that. But
3 chairs. No,
But yeah,
definitely.
this sort of brought up a point which I've heard on. There is the show that I'm listening to called Movie Talk by Collider, and they mentioned this because you know Martin Scorsese is making a new film called The Irishman.
I've heard of the guy, not the Irishman. Yep.
So yeah, he's making a film called The Irishman. It's supposed to be on Netflix, which is sort of people were sort of shocked when they heard that at first because Scorsese is like a classic cinema guy and he decided to go to Netflix. But the film is, and I'm not joking, it's 3 hours and 30 minutes long.
I just looked it up. Holy cow.
And it have an amazing cast: De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, Harvey Keitel. It has a great cast, but 3 hours and 30 minutes. That's really long. And maybe it's smart that they do it on Netflix. People can pause now
That is
because there is no
true.
way you can sit on one sitting watching that.
You're gonna get a cramped butt. No one's gonna like that. So
Yeah. So releasing that on Netflix, people can pause it. People can go to the bathroom if they need to, and it's sort of smart that way because it's a really long film. And maybe
Exactly.
that's Netflix is smart that way because they can market like, oh, you want really long films, release it on Netflix exclusively. That way, you don't have people don't have to worry about everything because you cannot release this in the theaters. Like even if you can, not only that people will have trouble staying around for that long, but it will cut down on the runtime for other films and how many times you can play the film in cinema.
Exactly, and it's gonna lose. You're gonna lose money. Like, how are cinemas gonna compete with Netflix and stuff? They have to change the movie experience somehow. I don't
Yeah.
know what. I was maybe heated seats, or I don't know.
Heated seats? No heated seats. You know
That'd be
what could
something
happen.
comfortable.
But yeah, you want to just thought about all these stars because The Irishman is gonna have a limited run in theaters for several weeks.
Okay,
Because in order to get an Academy Award nomination or consideration, you have to be a theatrical release. So they're gonna release it in Netflix several weeks after they do limited release in theaters.
just so they can get the award if they have a chance.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Good
mean, look at
move.
the cast. Most likely, they're gonna get nominated anyway.
Oh, it's crazy.
And because they're gonna have a premiere in cinema in big screen. What I'm thinking is De Niro, Al Pacino, Harvey Keitel, Joe Pesci. These guys are old. They're not gonna be able to sit in one sitting in 3 hours 30 minutes. They have to use the bathroom at one point.
Yep.
So
The ladder's not what it used to be, you know.
yep. So 33 hours 30 minutes. Damn, that's really
Why
long.
it's so long? Why was
I
this
don't
getting
know.
so long?
I don't know, man.
You know, this reminds me of like Lincoln. Remember Lincoln? Oh my god.
I've
I
never
haven't
seen
seen
that film.
I
I've
haven't
yet
seen
to
the
see
movie,
it
but
though.
I know it's a lot of talking, and it's another long movie as well. Let me just look at that on time.
Now
Oh,
I'm
it's not
now
that
now I
long.
want to Google the longest films of all time.
It's
I've
only 2
never.
hours and
Okay, I don't even know how this is possible. Apparently, there is a film that is 35 days long. I don't even
what?
know. I don't even know how that's freaking possible.
Why? Why are
What the
people like
heck?
this?
Okay. Those are not cinematic films, so I'm gonna see cinematic films. That's just the longest. The longest cinematic films is 21 hours and 5 minutes. What the fuck?
That is insane. Like when it comes to my mind, I'm like Lord of the Rings, but that's not even that long for compared to these.
Extended cut is very long.
Is it like 5 hours or something?
The extended cut for Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, I believe, is almost 4 hours.
Jeez.
Return of the King, extended cut. Let's Google this. Runtime.
The Fellowship of the Ring is 3 hours 48. That's pretty
Yeah,
long.
extended is 4 hours 10 minutes, which is long, but it's an extended cut, and they release it for home, so that's sort of okay.
Some people just come on. Our
But yeah.
attention span isn't that long. I already battled watching lectures
I mean,
for uni,
okay.
and I'm only 1 hour. Come on.
To be fair, the Lord of the Rings franchise, I can sit for 4 hours. I can sit through that because the film is incredible.
So
But
good.
The Hobbit, on the other hand, I cannot
Oh my
handle the extended cut. The
That
Hobbit. Go. I know you love Battle of the Five Armies, and you said it several times. Battle of the Five Armies is the shittiest Hobbit, the shittiest Middle Earth films. Okay, it's
Cop
shit.
that. Cop that.
But yeah. So once to get to your point, watching in
Yeah.
cinema, as long as it's not too long, I guess, because we need the bathroom break. It's pretty good. And for the one, I sort of for the plane, I think the closest thing. I think I saw. I can't remember if I saw Birdman on the plane or not, but I know I watched it on a moving vehicle, which is I don't know if I watch it in the car or I watch it in the train or I watch it in the plane. But I remember I watched it in a moving vehicle and I quite liked it, but not that I don't think I've ever seen a movie which I love on the plane. But yeah.
Nah, that's fair enough.
All right, so you have several. Yeah. Anyway, you have several more questions to ask about this.
Yes. Let me just get it up again. My
Mhm.
phone timed out. Okay.
Your phone timed out.
What food/drinks do you enjoy bringing to? Are you even a food drinks person? You know.
I usually if I already ate before I go to the cinema, I usually just get the drink. I don't know why. I need to hydrate a lot, so I usually
But
just
then
get
you
a
go to
drink.
the bathroom.
I
It's a
know,
risky
I
game. It's
know.
a risky game. Especially when you're getting soft drink. Like who gets water? So like
Yeah, I'm not a fan of soft drinks in cinema. I usually just either get a tea or like a lemonade for me. But yeah, that's a bathroom issue, I guess.
Usually for the cinema, I go to the bathroom just to make sure I don't have to go during the cinema. But if I
That's
am eating, I'll bring in like popcorn, like salt and I think it's like salt and sweet and salty. It's like a mix of like
yeah.
caramel and like the normal flavor, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But people who bring in chips, oh my god, chips!
Yeah,
Like
chips is
people can hear you. They can hear you. Come on, man. Or
yeah,
like
not the biggest fan of chips in cinema because it's yeah,
yeah,
like you said, crunchy.
crunchy, and people try and open the bag when it's a loud point. Like, no one heard me. Don't worry. And drinks. But yeah, I'm a bit of a water guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I usually just get drinks, but if I haven't eat yet and I want something to chomp down, I usually just get popcorns
Popcorn.
and
It's
I
good to
just
share as well. Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's not only good to share, it's like the standard movie food, you know,
What are some weird movie scenes that you've had?
movie food.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of if I just thought of it then. I don't know what
I know in the concessions at least they sell Sour Patch Kids, which I guess I can get because
I
it's
guess I can
sour.
get behind that.
But
Mm.
I cannot imagine eating a whole Sour Patch Kids for a whole film because you will get sick of it eventually.
It's a lot. I used to have like Skittles. They're like M&Ms except they're chewy. I was like,
Mhm.
this is too sweet for me. So then I end up like buying. You know, you get that craving like I want to get this one thing, and then when you eat it, it's satisfied, but you're left with just a packet of stuff now.
Mhm.
They should just sell packets of like one M&M. You know that will they will that sell? I don't know.
I've
One
no.
M&M.
I don't want to. What you want? How many? Okay, I would like to buy the M&Ms, please. All right, would you like to get it in a box or in pieces?
In pieces. Not sure how much it would cost, but probably pretty expensive.
They would give it away for free.
But yeah,
And yeah, I usually just get
what?
popcorn and water.
Yeah,
And I've seen this. I've seen people who bought like there's like I don't know how to describe it. It's not chocolate bars, but it's like chocolate like circles. Like I guess that's the best way.
like
Can you imagine
Boost.
it?
No.
No, not like Boost is like chocolate bar, sort of still a candy bar.
Yeah.
This is like okay. Imagine mini Mentos, but instead of Mentos is chocolate. Okay, so imagine Skittles but made of chocolate. There you go.
Skittles, also it's chewy. Oh,
Not
that's a
not
weird.
not chewy, but just like the shapes of it, chocolate and small. So they
Oh,
do.
okay.
So they bought that pack and they bought the popcorn and then they mix the chocolate in the popcorn and they mix it together. So they
Oh,
don't know what they're getting. And I've never tried that, but I know some people who like that. And sometimes they even put raisins in there. But I'm not a fan of raisins, so
that is a weird combination. I've not seen that before.
I've seen that. It's a thing here.
I mean, I've seen people. You're not supposed to
People are
bring.
weird.
Apparently, you're not supposed to bring food into the cinemas, but people always do. Like they always find like
Oh, they
ways.
always do.
They like chuck it in the jacket. Some people, I don't think the people even care. So literally, I'm just coming in with my plastic bag. They're like, okay, all good.
Hmm.
But I see
Yeah.
people coming with like Macca's, KFC as well. I'm like, come on, dude, you're
How do
making me
you
hungry.
how do you sneak in KFC and Macca's and
I think
McDonald's
they're
in there?
pretty chill about it. Some of the cinemas, you don't even get your ticket checked. Like, there's nobody working there.
Yeah,
There's one
yeah.
person at the register that you buy your ticket from, and it's like a trust system. But I guess it's enough. It saves the awkwardness because if you sit in somebody's seat but you didn't buy a ticket, then it's awkward.
That's
So then
fair.
people buy it. But
That's
yeah,
fair.
I don't know. And I always buy food not from the cinema because it's super overpriced.
Oh yeah. I mean that's the only way they earn money. Cinema is it's literally they're a food business. Movie theaters are food business and they're not movie business because that's how they earn money. They only earn like 5% or 1% of the tickets,
Really,
and
so it's
the
all
tickets is
food,
like very small. So it's really yeah.
all uppriced.
Hmm. But yeah, I really wonder how people popcorn is like definitive movie food, cinema food. Like I wonder how people come up with it. Like, oh, you know what, popcorn is a definite
And
movie
choc
food.
tops as
The
well, you
first
know.
person ever. What?
Yeah, true. Choc tops. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I have no idea what that is.
Choc top is like it's like an ice cream, but on the top it's like hard chocolate. So you get chocolate
Oh,
and ice cream.
in the cinema, ice cream, really?
People do. It's actually pretty good.
But it's
I
but
mean,
it's but it's like dark. You don't even know where you're grabbing
it's a
how can you
risky
even?
play, but some people do it. Risk it for the ice cream.
Hmm. Anyway, yeah, I've been scrolling. I've been looking to the left because I've been scrolling to my Letterbox app. I'm eventually seeing a bunch of films that I rated highly, and none of them I've seen. None of them was films that I saw in plane first. I'm still trying to figure out if I've
Still
seen
trying
it.
to find the plane.
Yeah, but yeah, none really, I guess. Anyway, uh, well, you have, I know you have several other questions.
Next question on the table. How would you improve the movie experience? I think we kind of covered this in the 3D gold class, but do you have anything that you would add apart from improving the quality of the screen or the sound quality?
Yeah, I feel like
Any ideas?
they need at least someone to make sure that the audio is always right and the screen is always lit properly.
Make sure they play the movie. That's very important.
Play oh yeah, of course, make sure that the movie is played. That is the most important part. And I just wish people understand they call this the movie theater ethics, you know? People
Etiquette, yeah,
understand
yeah.
not to play with their phone, not to talk over the film. So
Do you
I
think
wish
it would be going far if before you walk into the cinema they put like a rules, and on the rules it's like
I
light.
mean they do that usually. You know, they in the theaters they was like, "Oh, turn off your phones, blah blah
Yeah,
blah." But people
no
still
one really
does it.
pays attention. It's not enforced. That's the problem. So they don't really care. I don't know.
Do you think if there is instead of playing it instead of playing a video on screen,
Mm.
if there is someone before every film, a person like, and the usher comes in like, okay, we will highly respect if you don't play with your phones during the film. Do you think if that happens, people will more likely to not play with their phones, or do you think it's going to be the same?
I think it'd be in the back of their mind because there's like someone telling them, because they always tell it in like the ads as well. Like be
Mm-hmm.
respectful, like turn your phone off on airplane mode. But if there's no like consequence, I don't think anyone's gonna do it, to be honest.
Yeah, you
Because
need.
like
Yeah,
with a phone ringing, like it's embarrassing. Like people are gonna turn their phone off. But if it's like a light, they're not. I don't know. I just feel like
yeah.
just the people, they're just addicted to their
I mean,
phones.
if there's like an usher that's always watching and keeping watch, maybe, and if someone play with their
People
phone, the usher will approach to them.
are
Most
like,
likely, they will. Yeah.
out of the cinema now. Goodbye. Kicks them
But
out.
like, I don't know I don't know how it works in Australia, and I'm pretty sure this doesn't happen in Indonesia as well. But I know in the US, if someone is like talking a lot or playing with their phones or making like a hassle in a cinema, and you go out and you report to the usher or you report to someone in charge, they will go in and they will escort that person out and ask the person to leave.
Really?
I know that happens here because they're like,
That's,
yeah. But I don't know. I don't think it works in Indonesia that way. I don't think people care that much. I don't know in Australia.
I
That's it
think we're
too.
pretty laid back, so no one would actually do that. But
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see it. It's never gotten to the point where I feel I have to ask someone to be quiet. I've actually talked to girls before, like passive aggressively. So at the end of the movie, they were laughing at the most weird parts of the movie. Like it wasn't even funny, and they were laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Like people had, I think someone died in the movie, and they started laughing. I'm like, what the heck is wrong with you? And at the end, what? Do you even know what just happened? So at the end of the day, I was talking to my friends. I was like, don't you reckon those people in front of us were acting really weird? And all of them just turned around and looked at me. And I looked back at them, and we had like a staring competition for a little bit. But yeah, that was awkward. But I just, yeah, I think if you could solve that issue of people bringing like abusing their phones, it'd be. Do you reckon if people had to put their phones in like a bag before coming in,
Yeah.
removing the phone?
Then again, people will. If that's the case, most likely people won't even go to the cinema because they're like,
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That wouldn't really solve the problem.
especially what if like there's an emergency? You sort of need your phone if there's an emergency,
Yeah,
right?
you do. So then, yeah, that wouldn't work
Which is
either.
which is a tough way to solve that issue really. And I know they do that. I know they do that for movie premieres, especially for Disney stuff. I know they for press screening and premieres, they ask to like put the phone away in a Ziploc bag, and you can keep the Ziploc bag, I believe, but you have to stow it away somewhere,
Oh, okay.
something like that, so you cannot really access to it, or they actually take your phone. And I know sometimes, even in premieres and stuff or screenings, they take away your watch along with your phone, so you cannot really tell the time.
Oh, what? Why is that?
No, maybe because so you don't check your. I don't know. I don't really know.
They take away your watch. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Would you get behind? I don't know, trying to bring people into cinema if they had. Have you heard of the game Kahoot? I don't know if you heard of Kahoot or not.
Oh, so you mean interactive cinema?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
that'd be cool.
we've mentioned.
Like,
I think we've mentioned it at one point in the podcast when I was watching the Netflix Mindhunter. Is it Mindhunter? Dark? No, not Mindhunter. The Black Mirror, the episode where there is an interactive Netflix episode on Black Mirror. Did you know that?
I've seen Black Mirror, but not that episode.
There is one that is called. Oh man, I forgot what's it called. I'm gonna Google it, but it's an interactive, like those choose your own adventure story.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So it's like that, but it's on Netflix. It's called Bandersnatch,
Oh,
also like those Telltale games, basically. So there is a story, and then you have to quickly pick. Oh, you're gonna do A, you're gonna do B, and then it alters the story. So I believe in the Bandersnatch storyline, there is like I don't know how many possible different endings. There's so many different ways, but it works on Netflix. So you're watching it on your own,
you can just
and you
click
can
it.
pick
Yeah.
on it. How is it gonna work in a cinema?
See,
You use like a
cinemas
clicker or something, and
See,
like popular
cinemas are
popular
falling,
voting.
voting. Oh god. See, cinemas are falling behind. Don't know how they're
Mm.
gonna keep up. What else? What about like a massage? Would you do like a massage thing?
Oh no, no thanks. You'll probably fall asleep.
No chairs. Can't, I'm just trying to.
Okay,
Is there
recliner seats would highly improve if you could have
recliner
all
size
that.
would be good.
Um, Also, I just want to say no babies in the cinema, please.
Oh god. Can they have
If
like
you have a
adult
baby,
only
get them out of
theaters?
here.
That'd be like on the plane. It's like the same as you're like trapped for like 3 hours, and the baby's crying. It's just like, come
Oh
on,
yeah.
guys.
You have no choice to bring your baby in a plane
Yeah,
and you have to go, but you're gonna chuck them out of the airplane. But
yeah.
I'm like in cinema, don't bring a baby to the cinema.
I
Especially,
know they're
you're gonna cry.
gonna run around. They're gonna cry. It's gonna be too
Well,
noisy.
baby's gonna run around, but
No, they'll find a way.
they'll be crawling in the
They're crawling around like in Rugrats.
Okay.
I don't know what else they would do. Would they start bringing TV shows to the cinema? Do you reckon?
What do you mean?
If it's like a big finale, I don't know if there's gonna be another
Oh,
Game of Thrones.
they've done that several
Did
times.
they?
Like
They play it in the cinema. Oh, okay.
they played the first episode of season 8 in the cinema. It's a premiere.
Oh,
They have a
I
red
didn't know.
carpet and everything. They've done that for Breaking Bad too, I believe, and Walking Dead.
Oh,
And they did that for the shitty Marvel Inhumans TV show, which I don't recommend watching, by the way. And they released it on IMAX for the first several episodes, and lots of people went in and regretted because not only IMAX is expensive, but the TV show was shit. So
just too bad. Too bad. No good.
but yeah, maybe
I don't know how they would improve. I'm trying to think because cinemas have to change somehow because, as you said, like
they're really
Netflix,
falling behind. Like you're right, they're falling
they're
behind.
falling behind, and I don't know how they're going to improve because you said
Especially
they're not even a business cinema; they're a food industry. You said,
yeah, they still need to get money, and especially nowadays, especially in the city, where the tickets can be really expensive. Like I know in LA, the average ticket price is like it's already double digits. The average ticket price.
double digits.
Like I think it's like the average one is like $14 or 15 or 16. I know in my place it's still like $8, which is like sort of I guess is for US standards that's cheap for US.
Mm. And if you think about it, you're buying a movie ticket, and that's one movie. If you're buying a Netflix membership,
That's the price of a
how
Netflix
many
membership.
movies? Huh? Yeah,
Yeah, it's the price of a Netflix membership.
exactly. And how many movies you're getting a 3.5 hour movie just off the bat right away, and
Yeah.
then you're just getting great TV
Yeah.
shows.
And yeah, most people, at least for the expense, like I know in Sydney it's more expensive, right? Which is maybe why you're more
Yeah.
picky on watching films because you want to make sure your money is worth it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like in a cheaper place, which is why I'm sort of able to catch up with more because it's cheaper and I'm willing to pay more. But if it's
Is it close to you as well?
it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes walk, so it's fine. But yeah, if it's expensive, like in a city, I will be very picky, and if I don't have a lot of money, I will be picky, and I will just watch the big event films in there,
Yeah.
the blockbuster ones, and I will not watch the indies at all. Which is why people's like saying, "Oh, you got to watch the indies, support the independent filmmakers and everything like that." But if it's expensive, like I'll just wait for the streaming.
Does indies cheaper than the epics or like the big franchises,
Well,
or they
no,
same
the
price?
price are the same.
Oh, and like it's lower
Oh,
budget
you
as well.
so you think they should make a tier pricing? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, do you reckon that would entice people to come and watch? But then there's no
Maybe.
one getting profit. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if it will. Well, the cinema chain will probably not do that, but it might be pretty smart if they do
yeah,
like if it's an
tier
independent
pricing.
film, it will be like cheaper than an Avengers film, say like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that
That
could
that
work.
that might work.
That could work because then more people are going to watch. Because I think price is the big deal. So if you change the price, it's hard to change the cinema. Like, all you need is a chair,
Hmm.
better sound quality, better screening,
Yeah, no babies, no kid. No,
no
no,
babies,
make sure
no
make sure that
kids.
make sure the ethics are all right.
Exactly. If you can fix all of that, then they might have
Hmm.
a chance. Oh my god. Like, Netflix is just dominating at the moment. Like, they even
Yeah,
had like Bird Box that came out ages ago, but that was really good.
I've yet to see it.
All right. It's okay. It's based off a book, but
But yeah, we can sort of blend this in with your next question, which is like you said, the future of cinema watching competition from Netflix and etc. Like the streaming
yeah,
service are for real. They've not only that, Disney Plus is releasing several of their exclusive films on their own platform too. Apple is having their own streaming service. Have you heard
everyone's
about
gonna
that? And they're gonna have
have
their
it.
own
I have.
content. I don't know if Hulu have their own films or not. I know they have TV
Stan,
shows.
does
I don't know if
Stan have
Hulu
their
have.
own? Probably.
Amazon have their own films too, but they release it in cinema. But they have exclusive films too, which they have made. But I feel like the biggest competition
For
for like
cinemas?
film,
Or, mm,
because like streaming service is the TV. It's the TV.
yeah.
Streaming service are mainly for their competition is cable TV.
Mm.
But for cinema, I feel like it's only Netflix that have at least released quality
Yeah, like the
films for the
movies,
most part.
yeah. But even that's enough. Like, I don't know how. I'm gonna look up now. Like, how many people use Netflix? Because if all those
I don't.
people,
Yeah,
if
I
all
don't
those
know if they
people
release it, the numbers, but you can try to
use
find
it,
it.
so at the moment there's a 154 million worldwide, and
Hmm.
148 million who have paid. Don't know how they got that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people using Netflix nowadays, and especially people are just like they're more homebodies nowadays. Like, people like
Yeah.
the idea of just staying at home, not going out.
Hmm.
And
That's
if they're
true.
gonna stay at home and watch Netflix, then no one's gonna watch the cinema.
That's
Like,
true.
I
And
don't see.
once again, the thing with Netflix is that you can pause it and you can take a
It's like,
break if you want to. You can watch it
yeah.
again later. You cannot do that in cinema.
And if the volume is low, you can turn it up. You can wear your headphones. Like,
Oh yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure you can improve the quality of your laptop is probably better than the quality of the cinema sometimes. Like,
Hmm. Yeah, it
so
depends on the cinema screen too.
there's a lot of things in the favor of the Netflix, and they're not bad movies. They're
I
really good
mean, okay. I mean,
movies.
to be fair, the original films from Netflix, not a lot of them has been good. Like I can say a handful that's been good. Like Okja was fine. Mudbound was pretty good, but it wasn't that much of my taste. Probably my favorite original Netflix film, like original, they make it, is Set It
Mm.
Up. It's a rom-com starring Zoe Deutsch and Glenn Powell. I don't know if you've seen that.
What's it called?
Set It Up.
Set it up. I'm looking at.
It's
I'll look it.
starring Leah Thompson, which is from Back to the Future. It's starring her daughter, Zoe Deutsch. And you
Mm,
probably have seen Sweet Life on Deck, right? Do you
let
watch
me
you
look.
watch you watch Sweet Life on
I
Deck?
I haven't. Is that like Sweet Life of Cody and stuff?
Well, the sequels with Life on Deck. There, Zoe Deutsch
No,
plays
I haven't
Maya,
seen that.
which is Zach's girlfriend at the end of the series.
I missed all the Disney life. I was more of a
Ah,
cartoon and Nickelodeon. Not gonna lie, I was so disappointed because when I saw the, I know this is nothing related to it, but I saw the Avatar, Avatar cartoon series. This is a B series, by the way. If you haven't watched it,
oh, one of the
what are you
best
doing
of
with
all time.
yourself? But then they made it to a movie, and I just cried. But
Yep.
yeah, how they stuff that up? There was a Netflix movie that I saw recently, but I don't know what it was called.
But yeah,
It's not
to
Bird
all
Box.
to all the boys I loved before was not bad. I've never seen Velvet Buzzsaw, but I heard it's okay. But yeah, the original films have been for the most part just mediocre. There are some that's really good, but for the most part are mediocre. But there are lots of good films that are not original from their end that is good. Once again,
And if you think about it, they're only releasing more and more every day, and they're probably going to get better and better. So they're only releasing movies recently, but I'm sure a couple years into the future, and they will be releasing some really good ones.
but yeah, if The Irishman is a success and if it's a good film, more big filmmakers might be willing to go to streaming service because most filmmakers they don't want to go to streaming service because they're like, oh, it's not the authentic cinematic experience. Because I know Spielberg is against it, but suddenly now he's with Apple, he's working with Apple, which is sort of like what's it called, hypocritical for him. But I know Tarantino, there is no way because he's a traditional guy. He still shoots with film, I believe, and not digital, which is crazy.
Whoa.
So it's really an old school guy. I know the older filmmakers probably won't do that, but like big time up and coming filmmakers might jump into it if the Scorsese film is a success, you know?
Exactly.
Because right now there is not that much.
I don't know. Just cinemas, I don't.
Okay.
They're not clean either.
Yeah. What do you think of this? You know, in the older days, longer films, they had like intermissions for the film. In the way back in the older days, way before we were born.
Like if you, like similar to what do you call like acting? I guess not acting. What do you call like shows like theater? Like intermissions.
Do you think if cinema have that for like longer films? Because we talk about pausing and everything. If like imagine if Endgame had an intermission, would you have liked that? Because Endgame is a long film.
I don't think I'd like that, to be honest. I think theater, it's meant to have breaks in between, like they have acts, but whereas they'd have to change the structure of the movie to fit with the break, I think, because there's a general flow to the movie, and if they were to like break up, that would kind of ruin the flow, if that makes sense. So it wouldn't work. But I see where you're coming from. Like having that break would encourage more people to come out. But then at the end of the day, I think it's the money that people are spending to go, because I think, like I said before, like the membership price for a month is the same as one movie. So I don't know.
Oh, I mean, okay. I just remember this. Remember Movie Pass?
Movie Pass. Oh yeah.
Even though it fails now, but AMC have a thing which they call AMC Stubs, which is like sort of similar with Movie Pass. I believe it's more expensive, but if you have AMC near you, it's pretty much worth it because you can sort of go most of the time. I don't have AMC here, sadly, but if there is, I would have got AMC Stubs. So maybe a subscription service like that, which will make it like cheaper for you to go, that could really help cinema.
That could help as well. We have a thing. I don't know how we end up getting this, but we end up getting event cinemas like VIP members, which is we thought was something like cool. Like maybe we get like free movies, but we only got popcorn free refills, and even then, we don't even eat the popcorn. Like we don't buy popcorn, but you'd have to go out of the cinema to get the popcorn, and you're missing the movie anyway. So it's not ideal. But I think if you could get a point system with a card, like you join a card,
like a membership,
become a member, yeah. But like it's a free membership.
Yeah.
And then you get points for the movies that you watch, and you can accumulate them, get free movies from that. But
I mean that work. Yeah. I mean, they have that in the theater for me. They call it like the membership card, and if I watch enough films, I can trade it in for a gift card.
A free one, yeah, that's good, yeah. Well, there's also, I don't know, you probably have this already, but I think some cinemas they don't have reserved seating, which is kind of silly.
Mm-hmm.
But like you buy the ticket and you hope that you just get there early enough to get a seat. That's good.
Yeah.
But
I feel like reserved seating is needed now.
That should be standard by now.
Yeah, reserved seating is much better.
I don't know how I could improve. How do you improve? I don't know.
Okay, okay. So is your question how to improve the cinema going experience, or how to make people go to the cinema more? That's where, because it's two different things. I guess it can tie it in, but it's sort of two different things.
How would you get people to go to the cinemas more? That's what I want to know.
I feel like, first of all, that membership thing could help. The one like you said for credit points, that could sort of convince people. And then that like subscription service, like the AMC Stubs and what used to be Movie Pass, that could really help. Because I know back in the Movie Pass days, The reason why it bankrupt is because people take advantage of it. People really use it. People really like
Mm.
how it works. So if they could have that, like maybe I actually want to check how many is AMC stubs, but let's say $20 for a month, and you can watch unlimited films. That's worth it.
That's crazy amount of movies. That would
Uh,
be. I would abuse that so much.
yep. So let's see. AMC A-listers. How much is the price? But yeah, that could work. And then like if you maybe the tier pricing, like you said,
For different movies, yeah.
yeah, that could work as well. I don't know if I mean like it will attract audiences, but I don't know if it will be worth it for the cinema per
Yeah,
se.
they would. Well, they would balance it out. So I think they would, for the indie movies, for example, like Good Boy. I think you were saying earlier, that's pretty indie. They'd have that cheaper, but then they'd have something example like the It Too maybe would be more expensive, and so they wouldn't lose out on money, but
Mm-hmm.
it'd be balanced, and they might even get more money if they made it smart. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think people would be willing to watch good movies for slightly more, like $1 more even is enough to like get heaps of money. But people would buy $1 anything.
Yeah, and I feel like uh the thing is, I feel like Netflix sort of promote people. I've still seen advertisement for Netflix. I think because people they take pride in a cinema and they're like, oh, this is the only place where you can sort of watch it in the big screen. I've never seen an advertisement for a cinema. So maybe if they actually do more advertising, I don't know if that will help. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, well, for Sydney, they also brought in for Event Cinemas. It's one of the big cinema chains. They changed the cinema look of it. So some of them are looking like libraries nowadays, or a disco setting instead of like your normal. So they change up the whole decor of the cinema, so it's like you're going out, but you're still watching a cinema to make it more special. Don't know if that would encourage people. I think it's more expensive again. And there's also like the hydraulic seating that they're introducing, which I don't know, maybe they might get people, but
Mm-hmm.
not something that I would be interested in personally.
Yeah.
It's
I'm still
tough.
I'm, s- I'm still trying to find the price of the AMC stubs. I don't know why this is
I
so hard to
found
find.
I found AMC. I typed in AMC stubs, AMC theaters. There's actually free to join. Like somehow that's even a thing.
Oh, there is three different stuff.
There's like 3 levels of AMC stub. There's A list, Premiere, and
Mm-hmm.
Insider. Is really good. Like these deals are really good.
Wait, how much are they? Because I cannot find them for some reason.
I'm just hearing the pros, but wait, let me just type in what I typed into Google before, so you can have a quick
Mm-hmm.
check as well. I typed in, if you type in amctheaters.com, maybe something will come up. Hopefully.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like maybe advertising it. You know what? Lots of people watch on the weekends. Maybe if they make weekday tickets cheaper, because I know some of them have done that. But maybe if they do like promotional, like oh 2 for 1 or whatever on the weekends, maybe on the weekdays, maybe more people will that because cinema thrives on the weekends, but they are almost dead on weekdays most times.
Yeah,
You
if
know?
you can get people coming in to watch at like those awkward times, similar to
Mm-hmm.
flying, how they're cheaper tickets. If you could decrease the prices to cheaper tickets, or maybe like buy one get one free, then you get people in. Because I think rather than having just one person, you'd rather have someone coming in with a friend than have no one coming at all. Because you're making business at
Right.
least, right? And then if you're getting people coming in, they can tell their friends, "Oh, look, we got like these cheaper tickets. How good's that?" Then you're getting more and more people in. So like spreading through word of mouth would be good. I mean, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are working throughout the week, so it would be tough. But if you really wanted to watch a movie and you can't resist a good deal, then two for
Yeah.
one would get quite a few people, I think. But yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
it's all about like that off-peak time because night time's really busy usually. I don't think people would wake up early in the morning to watch a movie unless it's
No.
like a premiere, but that would be at midnight. So yeah, it doesn't really make sense. But having that good all those deals. It's all about making. If you could improve if you could make cinema standards 4K already,
Yeah.
4K, I don't know, surround sound. Like I think it's already surround sound,
Mm-hmm.
and improve the rules. That would improve the experience. But getting people to actually watch the movies, I don't know. Just maybe like just ban Netflix. I don't know.
Wow, that's a solution, huh?
That's the
That's your
solution.
we
You
talk
gotta
all
play.
this and then we talk all this how to improve it, and then your solution is to ban Netflix.
I reckon it's foolproof.
Oh, bro.
Foolproof. Or maybe to ban kids from watching movies, you have to have a height restriction. Like you got to be this tall, and then
This stall.
you're right.
Then are you saying Peter Dinklage cannot watch his own film then?
He oh, this. Sorry, mate. Sorry, dude. Unlucky. You're gonna have to watch it at home.
Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's an ongoing issue. Once again, we need to
Openness,
really,
future. Yeah,
we
I
need
like to
to
see like a chart of how cinema, like how many people go to cinema. Like I'm sure there'd be a scale where it'd be like 2000s, it would be up here, and then as the years go on, it'd slowly decrease. I think
no, okay.
that's what I imagine. Even though
By the
like the
way,
population increases.
yeah. By the way, I found a price finally.
Oh yeah,
1995 a month for 3 films a week. So that's a lot for a week still. Three films a week for
and so like in a
1995 a month.
month is 4 weeks, so you could watch 12 then. No, you
Yeah,
could watch. That's bad math. So you could watch. Yeah, that's true. You could watch 12. Yeah, you could watch
you can
12
watch
movies.
up to 12, which is still
For,
pretty good.
you already covered 3 movies there.
Yeah.
That's really good. I'd abuse that so much.
And not only that, you can use it for real 3D, IMAX, and Dolby Cinema, which is so worth it.
What is Dolby just really good like sound quality?
Yeah.
Oh wow. How come you? Oh, because AMC's. Oh, so you can only go to AMC ones, and they're not.
AMC
Are they
theaters.
popular? Or
IMC is the most popular in the US, I believe. But they don't have it here. The closest one is in Indianapolis, which
dude, you would
sucks.
save so much money,
I know, right?
and they would be losing so much money. Or maybe not.
I
Maybe
feel
if
like
there's enough people going.
yeah, I feel like in the end of the day, for movie theaters, you need to be able to market it right, and you need to be able. I think subscription service will really help out a lot, because Netflix is a subscription service, and they see like, oh, you get a deal. You get to pay, I don't know
Because
how much, $14 unlimited film for a whole month. You can share
because
with people.
once you've become subscribed, they can send you all these emails. They've got your phone number. They can control what you're probably seeing, like tune to what you like. They can have a history of what movies you've seen in the past, and they can be like, "There's this new movie coming out. You should go watch it." So once you've subscribed, you're exposed to all this advertisement that they can sell you more stuff on. They can show you,
Mhm.
oh, popcorn's like half price now. Come in, right? So
Yeah,
if they can get people subscribing, they're gonna open up the market so much. Like we don't even
I
have that in
know.
Australia, but it's all about getting the word out. Basically, that email is
That's
so
fair.
powerful. that
That's
email,
fair.
that AMC stuff, they're onto something. Like it might be at $20. You pay $20, right? But what you're not including is all the food that you're spending, really, right?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. That's true.
Like you said again, it's a food industry. Like they're not getting any money from the movies.
I mean,
It's all
once they already got the subscription service, they don't really worry about the ticket price, and maybe they're more likely to get the food anyway.
yeah, they're gonna get the food anyway. So they've already in their head they're like, oh, I'm watching a movie for free, but they're getting food. Maybe like I don't know, drink plus popcorn, $6 for popcorn, maybe $9 already, and like you're watching 3 a week, so you've spent about $27 already in that 1 week. I don't know. That's just rough math. It adds up. It adds up. But yeah, that's actually see.
That's a pretty good deal. I mean, I think we solved it. I think we solved it. The issue about
I think we copy Netflix and make it a subscription. We join forces and we borrow what's doing. See, we're
Yep.
thieves.
Yeah, see, movie theater change the owner. Listen to this podcast, and that's just how you solve your issue of how to get people to go to the cinema.
Exactly. listen to this podcast, and we'll save your business. Don't you worry. We expect commission though. Just saying, we expect 50% of sales. Yeah.
we will getting the all the income, the profits. But yeah, I
Oh,
I think pretty good. I think we did it.
that was solid.
So you got any more questions? Or
Any more
I think we
questions?
covered everything, right?
I think we did a pretty good job. So wait, just for final question: do you have a favorite genre? If you
For
could only have
film.
one genre, only one genre.
Oh, why you gotta put me in a spot like this? Damn you! Oh no! What do you have on your own?
I would probably go with comedy.
Yeah,
Because when I watch a horror movie, I don't like at the end of it, I'm just like creeped out by stuff and
yeah.
like it's
I don't
not
want to be
enjoyable.
stuck with horror for the rest of my life.
Dramas like it stretches on for too long, like 3.5 hours. I can't do
I
that.
mean,
Sorry.
not all, but yeah, most of them is like
Most of them are pretty on the long side. I think action movies, if you watch enough of them, it's like the same
yeah.
storyline. It get kind of
You
boring.
get tired too. You feel tired because it's like all the intensity and everything.
What else do we have left?
I think
Romance? I don't need to watch
okay.
it.
No, I don't want a musical for the rest of my life too. I feel like I'll get sick of it. I feel like the cheat answer will be animated film because you only get lots of
Oh,
genre in an animated film.
no.
That's a cheat answer, but I'm not gonna go with that. I am gonna go.
Fun,
You might be. I know you'll be surprised or not, but I'll probably go rom coms because
rom-com.
I really enjoy rom coms because it makes me feel good. You know, at the end of the day,
They're
after watching
good.
it.
Like Love Actually, and then you like what's the one with Ryan Reynolds? They told
Definitely,
me.
maybe. Woo!
Yeah,
That's
so
a good
good.
film, by the way. I
It's
finished
good.
it.
Hey, it's
But
a
yeah,
good movie.
I feel you feel good after watching it. You
There's
get a
one for
laugh.
every occasion, you know.
I mean, yeah. If it's a more heavy on a comedy, you get a laugh out of it. If it's a more heavy on a romance, you can get some emotional feeling about it. You will feel nice. You will feel sad. So you know, it's good. It's a hybrid of two genres, so it works and it's.
And it's relatable, you know. Like everyone can
I
relate to like
know.
some part of a rom com. You can't relate to I don't know horror movie. Or maybe you can. I don't know if
I
you
mean,
like
if you're fucked up, you can probably
if you're
relate to
into
the
that
horror.
stuff. Like we're looking at you, clown people. No, I'm joking.
Well, shots fired.
No, I'm joking. But yeah, rom com comedy. Like this is
I mean,
this
several of my favorite films are
like I
either
love all the
romance
Kevin Hart.
or
He's a
rom com.
great dude. Kevin Hart. Did you
I
hear
mean,
about him in the
Eternal.
news? Actually, he got hit by a car. No, his car. He got injured or somehow. Did you hear about that?
Huh? What happened to him?
Kevin Hart. He got I don't know. He got injured like really badly.
Oh no, I did not heard about that.
But
Hopefully he's
he's a great
healing.
comic. Um,
But yeah,
that's his
some of my
leg car crash.
oh yikes. But yeah, some of my favorite films are either romance, rom com, or comedy. So it's like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That's a romance film. Your Name, which is a Japanese film by Makoto Shinkai, that's a
Oh, it's
romance film.
so good.
It sort of have comedy aspects to it too. Princess Bride, obviously inconceivable. Uh, the Grand Budapest Hotel is sort of it have rom com vibes to it. Of course, When Harry Met Sally, and like you said, there's now Love Actually, definitely maybe. I
But
love a lot.
they always get really bad ratings. I don't trust the ratings when it comes to rom
Yeah,
coms. They don't appreciate it.
The Big Sick is a good rom com. If you have not seen it, I recommend it highly.
The Big Sick. Is it
Said
the
it,
Big
said
Sick?
it. The Big Sick. It's a horrible title, but it's a good film.
Okay, see,
Starring
honestly,
Kumail
the rating of
Nanjiani.
this is okay, 98%. Okay, it must be very good. Okay, take it
Yeah.
back.
And yeah, I like a lot of coming of age films for some reason. I don't know if it just I don't know if I'm in the right
You like
age to watch
Bruno?
coming of age. Huh?
Not Bruno. No. What's the one with the
Juno?
like Juno? That's the one.
Bruno? That's a different film.
Different film.
Is there a
Very
film?
different
Is there a film called Bruno? Actually, I want to check that out.
There is.
But
It's
yeah,
really.
I enjoy. There's actually a film called Bruno. It's a comedy film, and
It's with the guy from.
it stars Sacha Baron Cohen
Yeah, it's very different to Juno.
and Harrison Ford. Wow, completely different. But yeah, Juno. I like Juno. I like Booksmart, who just came out. Age of 17. I like, and they all have they all have romance part to it, and they have comedy. So you know, I think I'm sticking with rom com.
I think rom com's good.
And
I'm comedy.
you're sticking with comedy.
Well, if rom-com's a thing, then I'm going with rom-com then.
Rom-com is a genre, definitely. But yeah.
I'm going rom-com then because then rom-com.
Yeah, all
You
right
know,
then.
yeah, why is there a stigma? Why can't guys like rom-coms? You know, it's not
I
just a
don't
girl
know.
thing. Come on.
Yeah, I feel like people are
Big
sort of
stigma.
afraid. People are afraid of their masculinity and like, oh, you cannot get emotional and shit like that. But it's
Like,
fine. It's
shut up.
fine. It's
Your
fun.
ego needs to like tone it down a little bit,
I
mate.
know. I know. But yeah, we've gone so long now, so I guess we should probably wrap up. This has been
For
a
sure.
pretty fun podcast. Time flies, man. Time
Yeah,
flies.
well, I'm sure a lot of the viewers or listeners have learned a lot about us. You know, our good and bad experiences. I'm sure you guys have had your own bad
Yeah.
experiences and good, hopefully more good than bad. You've also learned about it, and I hope you're keen as us to watch the Joker.
Oh yeah. And yeah, it's been fun getting. I like, actually, I might start using this more because I like being able to put the comments from the YouTube live chat in here. This is actually the second ever live stream that we did for the podcast. The first one was when we first tested out the Infinity War. That was a live stream at first, and then this is the second time ever we do live stream. And I like how it's working, getting the audience involved.
It's
Obviously, the
interactive.
audience are only Calvin and Arik in this case, but it's still fun. It's still fine.
It's still fun.
So
You know,
I might do more of it.
if you throw it up on Instagram, I'm sure there'll be more people.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like right now the reason no one's watching is because this is 9 a.m. in the morning, so that's why.
The
But if I
timing,
do like
people
a
like
late,
waking
if I
up.
do a late night show, it might work.
Yeah, exactly. If you get the timing right and get as we were saying, get the word out.
Yeah,
Bring it
promotion,
back to
baby.
the movies. Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Then you can
so yeah, you guys, if you're still listening until this point, tweet at us
congratulations.
or yeah, comment at us, tweet at us, comment in the YouTube section below, tweet at us, share, spread the word about the Councilman show. Tell us what is your worst movie going experience, what is your best movie going experience, and how do you think it can improve the movie theater chain. Tell us all of that. And yeah, leave us a review on Apple and iTunes. If you're watching here, go and please help us and support us. Subscribe on iTunes, on Spotify, on Castbox,
5-star
wherever you're
rating
listening.
only.
Yeah, leave us a review, subscribe. It helps us on our feed and everything. So do that.
Share it.
So Jason, you have any last words you would like to say? Anything you would like to plug, your social media or whatever? If you have any projects, if you're uploading anything online.
Social media, Instagram, Jason Rodama. I post some photos up there. I think I'm posting one soon. Wedding. Not me getting married. I'm only 21, but family, friends. What else? What else? No,
Nothing
it's
much,
been
I
really
guess.
fun. It's always good talking to Albert. We get along really
Oh
well.
yeah.
As you can see, 2 hours and 17 minutes for two people. Like what? It went so
Yep.
quickly. I
That's
hope
real.
I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. If you wanna, as you said, comment down below and share your thoughts. That'd be great. And yeah, I think it's a good mix between like the current movie news as well as like our own experience and thoughts. It's
Yeah,
a
it's
good balance.
fun. Yeah, it's pretty good. And yeah, so yeah, you can follow Jason, like you said, and Jason Viradharma on
Yep,
Instagram.
that's me.
And yeah, you can find me at JA Viradharma on Twitter and Instagram. That stands for Jonathan Albert, in case you guys don't know. And uh, why am I blanking? Okay, JA Viradharma on Twitter and Instagram. Tweet me and
YouTube.
follow me there. I post lots of stuff on Twitter as well. And you can subscribe to this channel if you're watching right now. All you have to do is click the subscribe button down there. It's that easy. Leave a like, leave a comment. Help me out a lot. And follow us once again on the social media for Councilmen at Councilmen Show. Subscribe to all whatever podcasting platform you're listening on so you don't miss out. And if you don't want to miss out, I'll give a preview for next week. Hopefully this come to fruition, but a friend of mine who love horror, we're gonna be discussing it chapter 2 in depth. That's a teaser right there for next episode. So subscribe, you don't want to miss out to that one. So yeah, I guess that's it. You have any final words, Jason?
I think you've said it all, Albert.
Okay. So, and with that, the councilman has spoken. See ya. And it's ending.